like I had to get on Wikipedia. I had to get on Wikipedia to like find out where the match was on the card. But then you give away the result. What's up, everybody? Yeah. You caught me and Russ and Lady Prime in the middle of a conversation. Let me see if I can raise this chair. Let's see, hold on. You could tell how awesome we did.
Oh, camera went out again. Now it's just me. Deer in the headlights.
Oh, Neil did make a comment. Says that me and Fanboy Prime talk too much, and we don't let you talk. So
we don't let you talk enough.
So the floor
well,
is
I don't
yours,
talk that much anyway, so I'm good.
All right, Russ. I'm gonna back out because this camera's messed up. So if it goes dead, just stall for me.
I'll start stripping for the people that's here.
All right, let's see. It's not reading that camera. I don't know why. All right, I'm gonna back out, Russ, and I'll be right back.
All right. I'll show this off right quick since it's a wrestling themed show. I picked this up the other week at Walmart, the Rowdy Piper Ultimate Edition figure. Didn't know this thing was out, so just walked in the store just looking for stuff and happened across it, and I had to get it, dude. The first wrestling figure in my collection here, as an adult anyways. I'm on my phone, so I can't see if anybody's commenting or not. But I can just like move aside and let you guys behold the glory of the Winged Eagle Championship for like a minute or two.
Okay, I think I fixed the problem.
We're back.
The port, it was in the wrong USB port.
Okay, cool.
My fault. How dare I?
Well, no, whenever I plug it back in, it doesn't read it automatically like it does in the middle one. Why do we have this dog playing with that? What's up, Russ?
What's up, man? Pretty good.
It wouldn't be a Fanboy Prime live stream if there wouldn't be like a million problems at the start of it and all throughout it. Hope you're doing well. What did you? Oh, there we go. DJ Wise says he's clocking out here shortly. He said, "Oh, my nice Piper."
Yeah.
I thought he said mice paper.
No, I was showing off the Rowdy Piper Ultimate figure.
Is that new?
Yes, yeah. It's at our Walmart.
It's the first wrestling figure in my collection since I've become an adult, if you want to call it that.
I'm barely one.
Was it just was it a lack of funds, or were you waiting for like a certain figure?
Like I was trying to get the Sting figure in my collection first.
That's right. You did say that.
Yeah, I never could find that in the stores, and when I saw that one, I had to get it.
Are you looking for the AEW one, or you were looking for the Defining Moments Sting?
Oh,
I was either one, because I knew the AEW was out for a while, and I kept checking the stores, and I never saw it.
We saw an AEW one once, but we passed on it because she has the Defining Moments, the red, white, and blue, and the black and white. Yeah. And we kind of paused on it, and
it's because I don't want to. Well, I say that, but then I don't want to buy too many of the same wrestler. Even though I have like a bunch of Macho Man, a bunch of Ultimate Warriors, I have maybe like 5 different versions of Sting. I say that, but then
because you want to spread it out over the roster, versus putting all your money. But it's hard because you'll see certain attires that you really, really like. Like I don't know if we got it. Did we get the White Ranger Seth Rollins?
Yes. That one's still in the package.
Oh, that's
you get the White Ranger Seth Rollins, or you get the neon highlighter Seth Rollins, you get the Chicago Bears Seth Rollins. It's just all, you find a certain look that you really like, but then I don't need this figure in my collection. I already have a Seth Rollins, so it's first world problems, but if you don't manage yourself, and I'm the same way with comic books. If you don't manage yourself, your collection will outgrow you, and you run the risk of not appreciating what you have because you have too much. If that makes sense. It's like when my collection was just a short box, I would reread those books, and it's like those stories meant so much to me, and I liked them. Now I have a collection of books I read one time because onto the next book and onto the next book. And I don't know, it just depends on how you view it. Like certain people, like I've reread a novel before, and I remember this girl one time was saying, I've never reread a book because, she's all about reading something new. And I just wanted to reread the story to re-experience it because it was Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. I wanted to reread that. Yeah. So I don't know. It's the struggle we go through as collectors. How do we manage it, but how do we still grow our collection? I guess I don't know. But
this is like when I got into new comics, I found myself getting a bunch of stuff that I really didn't have an interest in. So I made the decision to stop buying new books and just focus on the older ones. And I give like a ton of the new books I had to my nephew.
Oh, wow. Well, I gotta say that Roddy Piper is an excellent first figure for your collection. It's an excellent.
I think so. I love those Ultimate figures too, man. The way they display it in the box.
I wanted a Macho Man one, but I can't remember what happened.
I saw it at the store one time, but when I saw it at the store, I went to the toy section and it wasn't there. So either the guy before me had grabbed it from the toy section, because I saw someone carrying one in the store later on. But at that Walmart, when you go to the electronics section, they had some figures there, and someone had stocked the wrestling figures, the Ultimate Wrestling figures there. And I feel like if I had gone to electronics first, because as I was walking into the toy section, he was walking out. I didn't see him holding on to that figure till later in the electronics section. I think he found the Ultimate Macho Man right before I would have found it. So
that's an awesome figure too, man. I was at GameStop the other day, and they got this big clearance section. They had a ton of the AEW figures. They had Omega and the Young Bucks as Street Fighter characters.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I'm real tempted I like Omega, but I hate the Young Bucks. But they're only like $12 a piece, so I've been tempted to buy them because I love Street Fighter.
And just keep it as a set.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Piper you have, it's the one with the icon shirt, right? So it's more representative of the WCW.
Yeah, this is from the Monday Night Wars.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, it's got the icon and the reality check. Probably can't see it.
Yeah, I see the icon. Yeah, there it is, a reality check. Nice.
But there's the photo on the back.
Good stuff. Do you have a favorite Roddy Piper match, Russ?
The one that always stands out the most to me is that street fight with Goldust. I believe it was WrestleMania 13.
20. I'm sorry, 12. WrestleMania 12.
Oh, 12.
12. It was in Anaheim, California, so it was kind of like Hollywood. That's where they did the White Bronco running from the Hollywood backlot back to the Arrowhead Pond. Yeah.
That was wild.
That's a good match. It's a good match.
I can get it.
If you can get that photo right there. Yeah. Zoom in.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's those photo cards that you got from Toys R Us years ago.
Yeah. There we go.
That was a really good match. Probably my favorite Roddy Piper match is at WrestleMania 8 versus Bret Hart for the Intercontinental title. We were talking about it the last time when we talked about the 1992 Royal Rumble. So Piper will win the Intercontinental title from the Mountie, then go on to wrestle at Bret Hart at WrestleMania 8. So good stuff. DJ Y says it was good. It was fun to watch that brawl. Piper versus 8-Man. He was good. Or is he talking about are you talking about the same match versus Bret at WrestleMania 8? I think that's what he's putting. He might be driving, so he's trying to get that out. Yeah, Piper versus Bret at WrestleMania 8 was a really good match. And so it's not necessarily a good match, but for whatever reason, in 1994, I think it is, they really, really pushed. Was it 94? It's got to be 94. They really, really pushed at the King of the Ring, Roddy Piper versus Jerry the King Lawler. And I get it now, like looking back, it's two legends, but Piper wasn't not Piper. The King wasn't a legend to a WWF viewer because he was just the commentator. But they really, really heavily pushed Piper versus the King. It may not have been 94. It might have been 96, and it might have been the last thing he did. I can't remember. But I know one of those King of the Rings. No, it has to be 94 because 96 was Ultimate Warrior versus the King. For whatever reason, they really liked using Jerry the King Lawler to wrestle these legends, and I don't get it.
Because he had his own promotion, and he.
No worry, DJ. I misread it at first.
Every time I think of Jerry Lawler, I always like flashback to the crazy stuff with Andy Kaufman.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say puppies.
Oh, no.
It's insane how like big that got for being at the time. It was still doing like the regional stuff, the territories. Yeah. That was like happening on Letterman, happening on a national broadcast television show. Yeah, that's a big deal. And did you happen to see the movie Man on the Moon where they kind of?
Yeah, I did.
Where they talked about that again and brought that out.
Yeah.
So we last time talked about going through this list that Lady Prime had, and I brought out my phone so I'd remember what matches were there. I totally dropped the ball and forgot to post a list of the matches in case anybody wanted to watch them. My bad. After we ended the stream last week, we had that emergency in the family happen, and the stream kind of went out of my head. And what I normally like to try to do is go back and rewatch a stream so I can see what I need to do and adjust. And I didn't do that in the 2 weeks. But we did mention that we were going to go over this list that Lady Prime had, and I put it in the description. And I think I pinned the comment. So what it was an article from uprocks.com. It was the top 10 matches for 2014. And the reason we came across that is before you started working part-time, it was going to be something that we just did together of watching the top 10 matches from 2014. And
because we would periodically, like out of nowhere, just for fun, like
make
lists. Like, what was your favorite match this year? Can you think of your favorite match? And we would write them down, and then we would discuss it with like his cousin.
And Nightwing 207.
Yes.
Nightwing McBain. He was in the chat. He put first, but I haven't seen him since.
So that's what we would do before all of this. So.
Oh, no worries. It kind of came out of nowhere. But I do sometimes, Robin. I do sometimes. I try to, anyways. Ollie will watch it more than I do. So 2014 was the list that we came up with, or that we found. We were going to start watching it, and then you got a job not long after, and we never went back to it. And for whatever random reason, you were going through a spiral, and you came across this.
I just kept finding.
Well, no, you came across that list, and you mentioned we should cover it, and we decided we would do that. I know I sent it to David from Kelly and Jordan Squad. I sent it to DJ Wise. I sent it to Russ. I think I sent it to Nightwing, if I'm not mistaken. Is Biscuit okay? I was worried this morning. Yeah, the dog's fine.
She's just dramatic.
She's just very dramatic.
Yeah.
She just pretended to be hurt, but she got in trouble. And so from 2014, and I guess the reason we brought up 2014 is because that was the year we went to our first WrestleMania, and we were together. And I guess we were talking about 2014 at the time. So I said, well, I wonder what people think was the best match of 2014. And so looked up this list, and it's finally, I don't know, 5 years later, 4 years later, 3 years later, we finally watched the matches.
But the one match I kept telling him, and I'm so upset that you didn't, not upset, but I was hoping you got to see it, was the SmackDown match. Like, I just remember watching it live, and I'm like, I was just really amazed by it, and I would always tell him, "Hey, you need to watch that match. Hey, you need to watch that match."
Do me a favor. Let me go over here.
I'll have to see if it's on YouTube or something and watch it later on.
It's on the network. It's just hard to navigate to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just hard to. Yeah, I tried to watch some of these matches at work on YouTube, even though I know I could have just downloaded Peacock, but I didn't.
Sorry.
So YouTube would like skip parts in the match when I was trying to watch the full match, and I'm like, I'm gonna miss something important or whatnot. It would just cut really fast, and it was just yeah. So I just had to wait till I got home to try to rewatch it.
I know last night I like just binge watched all of them last night. So some of them might like bleed together in my mind.
And it was hard. It was also hard for me because I would be like, okay, I'm gonna put this match on. I'm gonna go to the next match. No, then I ended up finishing that pay-per-view, or just like I started reminiscing on like, oh man, that was during this time, and oh, whatever happened to that guy, or what is he doing now? What promotion is he working for? And just went down this.
Yeah.
You know how it goes. You just start Wikipedia everything, and you just go into this little hole, rabbit hole, and then I'm like, no, okay. Then I had to tell Fanboy, I was like, no, okay, we got to watch this match and go. We got to finish this. But it was really hard. It was hard because, man, just 2014. Well, watching a lot of NXT 2014, man, that was just like,
oh yeah, no doubt,
really good time to be watching wrestling. It was something new, something fresh. I think a lot of what real wrestling fans were wanting, instead of this,
for me, like
whole lights and cameras and theatrics of it all. Like, yeah, I like that, but I get to the point where I want the nitty gritty. I just want a real wrestling match. And I miss the small venues, because when we used to go to Ring of Honor shows, we always had the most fun there. Like, and these small, in this small, actually where we go to that comic, it just slipped my brain what it's called. The Ekman's Comic and Toy Show, where they hold that's where we used to go watch Ring of Honor shows. And it was just always such a blast. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, for me, the NXT for a long time was just better than Raw and SmackDown.
It really was. And then now I'm just sad how it changed. It's just like a minute.
I haven't. Yeah, it's been maybe over a year since I've watched NXT.
It's been a long time. To be honest, I don't remember the last NXT like show we've watched. Like, I catch up on stuff like who the new guys are, new girls are, a lot of it on Instagram. I try to keep up with it, but it's just hard.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to Fanboy, and I was like, who out of NXT, like true NXT, came up from the developmental thing, made it? Like, not Ring of Honor, no indie background. I was like, who would you say has made it? And
Roman Reigns.
But he comes from family.
Okay.
But then I said Bray Wyatt.
He comes from family.
And I was like, oh, he comes from a wrestling family.
Tyler Black.
Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
See, like a lot of them come from indie shows. But then I said
it's Charlotte Flair, but from a family. So I said Rhea Ripley has been one that went through the NXT system. Baron Corbin, the guy that went through the system.
Oh, I guess Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks. I don't really know. I think their women's division has grown from NXT.
Both Bayley and Becky Lynch was in the Indies before NXT, right?
Right, but they weren't. To me, they weren't real big known names. Like Kevin Owens was Kevin Steen. I knew him from Ring of Honor. I knew him from the Indies. I knew Sami Zayn. Knew they really cut their teeth in the Indies, but I didn't really see anybody that's like the NXT training that the homegrown has worked. All right, we'll see you later. Yes, the golden era of NXT. So we're looking. Hey, Kenneth, good to see you. Becky Lynch. I know. Hey, David, what's up? Sorry, guys. I got a call, and Ollie has the opportunity to go to the movies, so I let him go to the movies.
With who?
It doesn't matter.
What? Now you're gonna give me anxiety. Where's my son going?
He's going to the movies with my brother and the boys, and my brothers.
There's
Both,
2 brothers.
Yeah, both Derek and Matt.
He's just gonna take an Uber to the movie theater. He'll be fine.
What's that?
He'll just take an Uber to the movie theater. He'll be fine.
Yes, he is. In fact, going out to party.
Did you give him money? You would send my kid away and did not give him money.
Yeah.
He got invited.
Well, he still give him money. He's gonna lose it because I bet you he's not wearing jeans. He was wearing shorts. But anyways, so another person I was thinking, it might be a little controversial, but Enzo. Do you remember Enzo?
Oh yeah.
I loved him so much. I thought he was so great on the mic. I get it. A lot of people will say like he wasn't a great in-ring performer, but just
he had crazy mic skills.
Yeah, that guy had the charisma like so much, and even though a lot of people dislike him in the wrestling world, like he got the people talking and he built himself a following, I guess you could say, because I think he even had a match in Ring of Honor. Was it against the Briscoe?
He drove away before.
Oh, okay. Did Enzo have a match with the Briscoes, or was it?
I don't know if they had a match or not. They were building up for it, and I would have paid money to see that. He's 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that.
I was repeating that because Ollie, when he was smaller, he liked Enzo and Cass, and he'd be like SAWTF soft, and he would do it, and we bought him the figures.
Nightwing is not a fan of Enzo, so.
Does he still wrestle? Is he on the indie scene anywhere?
I think he does a show or here or there. I don't think he wrestles as much, but he makes his appearances count. Is what I think. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah, and then I know he had has a rap career.
Oh, he's a great rapper.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Listen to
I know he put music out. That's all I know.
That's one way to say it.
I know he.
Is it as good as the Macho Man diss track on Hulk Hogan?
Dude, Drake and who was it? Kendrick Lamar. I ain't got nothing on Macho Man and his dissing of Hulk Hogan.
What was it? Be a Man. I know.
Be a man, Hulk.
Yeah.
Be a Man.
Oh man.
I need to find that CD.
All right, so my apologies if you're watching on demand. I feel like I haven't the show hasn't gotten started because I keep getting up and get lost. 2014. That's the year we're covering. Top 10 matches from 2014. According to this list, as we watch the matches, I was thinking of other matches that should be included in the top 10. Talk about that at the end. Yes, Cass is currently in AEW. He's currently under the learning tree of Chris Jericho. So we'll see how that goes. Cass is legit. I think he ought to be pushed to the moon. 2014 was a big year. 2014, WrestleMania 30 took place, so the 30th WrestleMania. It was the year the network was introduced. WWE Network was introduced in 2014. The first pay-per-view for the network would be WrestleMania 30. One of the matches on the list, Elimination Chamber, was the last pay-per-view you actually had to pay money for. And because people knew that, they really didn't order the pay-per-view. The pay-per-view numbers just dropped dramatically. But also the year before, The Rock was wrestling in the main event, so The Rock brought in more buys. Yeah. People knew that if they just waited in a month or so, the pay-per-view would be on the network and they could watch it. So some people, people did illegal streaming or whatever they needed to do to get it. Callie and Jordan Squad says 2014 was a great year. Are you talking about in life or in wrestling? Because the network was introduced in 2014, you may have heard a time or two while you were watching these matches, Russ, or while you were fast forwarding through these matches, that you can see the WWE Network for only $9.99. $9.99. I know DJ. I'm sorry. I don't remember. Did I give the wrong credit to them talking about Cass with Y2J? I'm sorry if that was DJ. My bad. Yes, I hope the link I sent you is the correct one, DJ. If you want to come on and be on the panel, just I'll see you in the back room and we'll let you jump on. But 2014 introduction of the network, a transition period because John Cena would not hold the world title. Oh no, I'm wrong.
No.
He would hold the title because match number 10 on this list. And I think we'll do it. I know last time it was mentioned to do it tournament style. I don't know if I could make that work for the sake of ease for me. 2014 was when Jordan got into wrestling. It was a great year. Oh, that's awesome then. That's awesome. Yeah, for sure.
Got spoiled the goodness.
Because Ollie's not really into wrestling. He'll watch it occasionally with us, and he'll
he has his favorite matches already.
He has his favorite matches, his favorite wrestlers, but he's not. He doesn't watch it like we do, where every WrestleMania is a big deal here. Big pay-per-view is a big deal here.
He makes fun of us. He
Yes.
makes fun of me. He's like, "Why do you like wrestling so much?" And I'm like, "Why do you like Godzilla and King Kong? Because they're cool." And I'm like, "Okay, I think wrestling's cool." He's like, "But it's not." And I'm like, "You want to fight?" Fighting words.
So match number 1, I guess I could make a banner. We could talk about this. And this is according to this list, but I'm going to put Brock versus Cena is being discussed. SummerSlam 2014. That was on this list. According to this list, SummerSlam 2014, Brock versus Cena was the number 10 match on this list. And I just messed up because I was talking about it possibly last time they mentioned a tournament. I say we do it gauntlet style. The first 2 matches enter, match number 10 and match number 9 on this list. We pick which is the better of the 2. Then that match will go on to face the next match. So match number 10 on this list, Brock Lesnar versus John Cena from SummerSlam. You did watch this match, correct, Russ?
Yeah.
Because you did not watch.
Which is the one he didn't watch.
Okay, is later.
The SmackDown.
You couldn't find it. Okay. Russ, I guess before we discuss this match, and I had broken this down in my head, what makes a good match? What does it take to make a match a good match, an all-time match?
For me, it's like a lot of back and forth, a lot of close calls, a lot of like last second kickouts.
So it's what takes place in the ring.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me.
Good. Got you. All right. Lady Prime?
For me, I like hard-hitting matches. I like good, solid. There's a lot. I don't want to say because I'm so
pretentious. Say it.
I'm so pretentious when it comes to wrestling because I know it all now. I hate that they focus on the camera angles and getting the good spots.
Okay.
That can ruin. That can make or break a match.
All right. Did you notice that? Because we just watched WrestleMania 40. Did you see the Backlash pay-per-view?
Yeah. Yeah, I caught the replay of it that night.
Okay. So I don't know if you noticed that they filmed it a lot differently than they filmed it in 2014. 2014, we're still under the I can't even think of his name, Kevin Dunn. And so there would be a lot of times where they would, they push their head into the turnbuckle and the camera zooms in or the camera shakes. It was funny seeing that again because I hadn't seen that in a while. Now that Kevin Dunn's gone, they film it differently. So it was a little bit of an adjustment going back to seeing matches like that, which were not my favorite style. It's kind of overproduced. I miss the Attitude Era Raws, the Attitude Era shows where it was kind of had a little bit of a grungy feel to it, a little bit of a harder edge to it. So going back and watching these matches, it was in the midst of the overproduced product. Would you both of you say that a good crowd can make or break a good match?
Yes.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a trip to me when the crowd seems dead, when something like incredible's going on in the ring.
All right. Because we found that out during during the lockdown era, during the Thunderdome era.
Yeah, the Thunderdome.
So a bunch of matches that didn't have a crowd. And a lot of the wrestlers did not know how to work without that crowd.
Oh, we should
Callie and Jordan Squad says, what happens in the ring has to show the emotion outside of the ring that makes it a great match. And I was going to say this. So to me, the best matches, there's a story coming into the match. There's got to be a story coming into the match. It doesn't have to be. There can be just a match that you just walk into and you see, which to me is that Intercontinental title match number 9 on the list. Talk about that. But a lot of your great matches, a lot of your all-time matches have a story that builds into it. I think of WrestleMania 7, Macho Man versus Ultimate Warrior. Just the whole story of the background story of Miss Elizabeth, his time with Miss Elizabeth, going to Sensational Sherry, ending up back with Miss Elizabeth. Not even talking about anything that happens in the match. Already it's a great match. Then you add the in-ring work, and it's phenomenal. I think that's important. Another thing that I think can make make or break a match is does it matter? Does it matter, or is it simply just we put this match together and it plays out? And I think this is where AEW suffers because they have great cards. They have great shows of the moment. They have a great night of wrestling. But did that match matter? Did the outcome matter later on? Did it affect the storytelling going forward? Comic books. You and I are into comic books. Yeah. There's a lot of comics where you could read the story and ultimately it doesn't matter to the rest of it doesn't revolve or involve the long-term narrative.
No repercussions for any other characters.
It could be a throwaway story. So the great matches, maybe there is one or two that can have an impact. That can have an impact, but it can definitely enhance it if it has an impact going forward. Now I talk about all these things because number 10 on this list is Brock Lesnar versus Cena from SummerSlam 2014. And I'm here to tell you, it might be the best match on this list.
You think so?
Oh my gosh. All right. Here's another thing that makes a key match. Did we see something we don't always see? Did we see something special?
Because you have to think about, like, Brock was coming back. Cena was reigning. Cena was always winning champions. She was always in the main event. You always knew Cena was going to be the winner. He was going to overcome, All
right, so we just came off the heels of WrestleMania 30. John Cena wins his first world title WrestleMania 21. This is the decade of Cena. Cena hit those 5 moves of doom, and he won the match, right? There's so many matches I thought he should have lost. Versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 23. Should have lost that. The wrong guy won. Cena versus Rock 2. I'm still going for The Rock. Anytime Cena defeated Punk, wrong guy won. John Cena won all the time. And in this match, Brock versus Cena from SummerSlam 2014, Cena just gets utterly dominated. Just utterly destroyed. So crowd was into it.
Yeah.
Crowd was into it. Counting the suplexes. We had the invention of Suplex City.
Yep.
We saw something we had never seen before. We saw John Cena get dominated.
Yeah, exactly. We wanted, as a real wrestling fan, not kid, as real wrestling fans, we wanted change. We were tired of the same product over and over and over again, and knowing that Cena was going to win all the time, But seeing him get beat up that bad by Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar makes a great heel because I hated Brock Lesnar when I was a kid, and when he first made his debut, I could not stand him. Now I think about it and I'm like, man, he was that good. That just got under my skin. And he had already beat Undertaker, right?
Yes, he just came off of WrestleMania 30, beating the streak. And so then it was like, to me, Brock Lesnar finally, when he returned the night after WrestleMania 29 or WrestleMania 28, this is how they should have booked Brock Lesnar since that point forward. He should have just been this monster, this animal, this force, this unrelenting force. And they didn't do that from 28 to 29. And they didn't do it from 28 to 30 until WrestleMania 30. He defeats Undertaker. And then the light bulb went off in someone's head. And they're like, well, he just broke the streak, which is crazy in its own right.
Yeah, now, it would have been crazy to book Brock to lose in that match after taking the streak.
Say that again?
It would have been crazy if they had booked Brock to lose after doing that.
Yeah. He had to win that match. You're right.
Yeah. It's funny, looking back on before I rewatched it, in my memory, I remembered it just being a complete squash match. I've forgotten that Cena had gotten a little bit of offense in. So
And
rewatching it again gave me like more appreciation for it.
The crowd gets fired up when Cena gets back into it because there are some that are there to cheer on Cena. What's up, DJ?
What's up, man?
I don't know if you can hear us yet. Okay.
Oh.
How about now?
Oh yeah, we can hear you now.
Yep.
Hey man, how's it going?
Hello.
But now you froze. Okay, there it is. Now you're back. Can you hear us though?
I can hear you if you can hear me.
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you. It's just kind of pausing a little bit.
Which I don't know why. I'm connected to the hard line. If you
Yes,
need to
that's
take
what
me
we have
out,
to
if
do.
you need to take me out, just take me out.
Do you need me to hold off and let you get set or what?
No, you're good. I've been
Okay,
setting up
okay.
this whole time. I don't know what the heck. I was fine yesterday.
Nah, dude, it's YouTube, it's StreamYard, it all happens, man. Rush was trying to stream the second night of WrestleMania, and even I tried to get on the StreamYard, and it would not go through. It would not go through.
Oh, is that what happened?
It was bad.
StreamYard is just a wreck sometimes to try to deal with.
I can imagine.
Anyways, hi.
What's up?
I can imagine that WrestleMania 40, everybody was trying to do their live stream of it, so maybe it was just an overrun.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Oh yeah, probably.
So I'll ask you, DJ, because I asked Russ and I asked Lady Prime. What are some of the elements that make for a great match? And we kind of mentioned crowd. We kind of mentioned the backstory. We mentioned what happens in the ring, and we mentioned that it has a lasting impact. Anything else you can add to that?
Promos. Yeah, the start of the story, the middle kind of promo that you kind of have, and then that go home show promo usually. I feel those make or break some of it too.
So you want it's not necessarily the story, but just selling the match. You want it to sell it as it builds it up.
I think that does it as well. Yes, if there's not a good, if you're not believing the villain or the heel or babyface and heel, there's no point. Anytime Lesnar, or at the time when he was with Lesnar, anytime Heyman is part of a story, he sells the match.
Well, I was just about to say, Heyman is the one that sold me on this match before this match happened, because Heyman was the one talking about that John Cena had a longer run on top, longer than Stone Cold, longer than The Rock, longer than Hogan. I mean, it was literally a decade of John Cena just being the man. And he ran into Godzilla. John Cena was Tokyo, and Brock Lesnar was Godzilla.
That match surprised the heck out of me. I mean, I'm glad it did, but that match, I did not expect it to go like that. And like you were saying, it needed to be something like that.
He'd say Brock was like, I'm going to have you laying in your own blood, and I'm going to have you laying in your own urine. And just like, I'm like, oh, man, okay.
But I don't know if you saw my comment that there was a story that came out recently about that match.
Oh, let's see.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Vince shoved Cena and Reigns down our throats, so a lot of us didn't like it. I did not like Reigns just after the Shield. It was too much. Just before he turned heel. And then I said I forget who. I want to say maybe it was Cena brought it out, but apparently they brought it to his attention that, they needed a story after Taker. What does Lesnar do after Taker? How do you, because it's Lesnar, it's not a new person, so you can't really capitalize like fully as if it was like a newer person. And they apparently brought it to Cena's attention. He's like, you're basically going to get squashed. And Cena apparently was like, he was surprised at first, but once they laid it out, I got to find the article. Once they laid it out for him, he's like, I agree with that. This is the way the match needs to happen.
Well, I'm surprised Cena agreed with that, because the whole thing with like him burying like all of Nexus.
Oh man, that's another storyline.
It's hard to believe that he would agree to get squashed, but
they killed.
When you're going against Brock Lesnar, what else are you going to do? Like, Brock's one of those guys that's just like could legitimately break you in two if he wanted to.
Arn
it had to
Anderson.
happen this way.
It was Arn
Yeah.
Anderson. Arn
that-
Anderson's the one that worked with them and helped come up with it. Yeah.
Well, see,
He said, no, go
and
ahead.
we got to remember that Daniel Bryan was the one who was the champion coming out of WrestleMania 30. He had the injury. The title is it goes vacant. Cena wins it at the Money in the Bank. Rumors that I heard is that this match is how it would have gone down had it been Daniel Bryan versus Lesnar. And I mean, it would have had to happen like that.
Yeah.
At the time, yeah. I'm glad it didn't, because we got a match from them a few years later, and that was pretty good.
Right.
Lesnar and...
But for here, where Lesnar's coming out of defeating Undertaker, it's like you said, it had to happen like this. And it didn't hurt Cena. Cena's career didn't suffer for it at all. In fact, it helped when they had the rematch, because here comes Cena, and he could be more competitive in the match because he had to bring out a little bit more, and he had to try a little harder. It was going to be a bigger fight. He knew what he was going to be facing. It didn't hurt Cena at all. All you did was establish Brock and build him up, which the whole plan was ultimately for Reigns to beat him.
Yeah.
But like you said, they shoved Reigns down our throat. No one was ready for that.
Oh, man.
What's up, Melodo?
Hey, Mello. Yeah, so it was Arn Anderson. Apparently, Brock had dinner with Stone Cold, and then they were speaking to Cena saying that this is the way we have to do it. We're going to ruin the story if we make it a 50-50 match.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, which, I mean, Cena still got his offense.
Yeah.
But Brock just dominated. It needed to be done at that time.
And then Cena was already established, like he was going to come back into the event or main event and redemption or whatnot.
Look, it happens in sports all the time. You have an undefeated football team, and they lose to it. They don't even lose to an equal or get blown out by an equal. They'll lose to a bottom-dwelling team. Will blow them out. You know, there's only been one team that's ever finished undefeated, the 72 Dolphins. You know, and there's a lot of times where the best team in the league will go and lose to the worst team in the league. We still go and watch that best team, and that best team still goes on to win a Super Bowl. So this squash did not hurt Cena at all, but it needed to happen. And I think this is the greatest squash match of all time. And it's not even a true squash, like you said. Cena gets his stuff in.
Exactly.
Cena gets his moves in, and the crowd's going crazy for it. They built the anticipation for it. You know, you thought Cena was going to fight back. You may have thought John Cena was going to squeak out a victory.
That's what I thought was going to happen. Yeah.
But to me, overall, it's a squash match, and it's the greatest squash match of all time. I think it being number 10 on this list is a joke, because I think that match is so much better than.
It was the last match I watched before we came on here, and I was just giddy. I was all giddy inside because I hated Cena so much, so much with the passion, and I'm watching it. I'm like, yeah, get him, Brock.
Right. And I had forgotten, rewatching it, I had forgotten, like, obviously you forget things here and there, but rewatching it, you could see the crowd, they're into it for a bit, and then like the middle ending, they're like, boring, but then they came back again, like cheering because they wanted to see Cena lose.
Yeah.
once the suplexes, once they were like,
oh man, that was crazy.
Okay.
Russ,
like you said,
had you seen this match before?
Yeah.
Okay, so you did you see it live when it happened?
I think I had the network then.
Yeah.
Okay. Same for you. Okay, that's good. You had seen it live, but it had been a long time since you'd seen it. So I walked into the bedroom after she had watched it, because I had already watched that match on my own, and I looked at her and I just nodded, and I was like, I know what you're thinking. I know. I didn't tell her. I didn't want her to know that I already think it's the best match on this list.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe it's not. After we talk about them, we'll figure out. But
it's not. It shouldn't be number 10. It should be higher.
Yes, for sure. For sure. Just on its impact alone.
Yeah.
Okay. Match 10. All right. Match number 9. And I don't know. Russ couldn't find this. Did you happen to find it, DJ?
I found a YouTube. It might be the same one she was saying. I didn't get a chance to watch it. No, that's that and the 2 Shield matches, which I wanted to watch, but I ended up doing other stuff last night.
You mentioned that.
But I remember how great they were, though. The two Shield matches.
get to watch it. Like, I always root. I've been telling Fanboy forever. I'm like, this match is so great because I watched it, and I remember.
So I was still working Friday night. So when I came home the next day, she was telling me about this triple threat match and how great this triple threat match. So number 9 on the list is a triple threat match for the Intercontinental title. Ziggler versus Tyson Kidd versus Cesaro from SmackDown of November 14th, 2014. So I finally saw it for the first time. Great match. Not better than Cena Brock.
It still holds near dear in my heart because all those 3 guys are like, they're amazing, phenomenal wrestlers. Like Dolph, we've already known. Like Dolph he's a good worker. Cesaro, I don't even have to say Cesaro. We all know Tyson Kidd. I mean, he comes from, he was trained by the Hart Dynasty, Hart family. Like, we knew he was good, but this was when he was going on his own. Like, man, he was just so amazing in the ring. Like, his offense, defense moves, like that triple threat. And triple threat matches are not easy.
No, they're not.
They're not easy. So with Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, like, their offense and defense, like, just things that you didn't expect was going to come. Like, it was just really amazing to put on a triple threat match because those are not.
On a SmackDown, too.
On the SmackDown.
On a SmackDown, yeah. Bottom Tier Collector says squash match is supposed to end quick, in my opinion. I get what you're saying. When I say it's a squash, it was like total domination by Brock. And it was John Cena.
That was Brock versus Kofi Kingston. That's the squash match.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, man. I forgot about that.
Definitely.
That was rough.
Yeah.
David, Callie, and Jordan Squad says Dolph needs to come back and have a title run. When he finally did win the world title, the world heavyweight title, I was so disappointed that they didn't let him have a run with it.
Mm-hmm.
But he got hurt, right? And that after he was hurt.
Yeah, I think he got a concussion. Nightwing says Nightwing took off the McBain.
Yeah.
He says, I appreciate Kidd more after watching his matches. So
watching his matches, and then obviously it got cut short his career, but seeing what he's done now as a producer with some of these matches, oh my God.
Am I mistaken, or is he kind of he works a lot with the ladies?
I think it's the ladies with Finley, and he does a couple of the cruiserweight things too.
Oh, nice. Oh, I forget about Finley. Finley.
Man, I'm so thankful for Finley and the women.
Oh,
really?
I couldn't stand Finley on my WCW TV. I couldn't stand him on WWE TV. And then he had that amazing opening match with JBL at WrestleMania 24. And I was like, Finley's just this tough bastard, like
they just never gave him the time of day.
Right. Super Russ, Finley fan? Are you more of a Hornswoggle fan?
Finley could wrestle, man. I liked his matches. I don't know if I was ever like a fan.
Got you.
I saw some good matches with him.
He would have, to me, the same effect as Dean Malenko. Dean Malenko, amazing wrestler, character-wise.
Yeah. It was like eating cardboard.
Yeah. A little vanilla.
Yeah. Okay, so you two didn't see this match, or you think you only saw clips of the match, right? DJ, is that what you were saying?
No, I have it here. I have to try and watch it.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Watch it, save it. It's amazing.
I think it's a good match. It's a SmackDown match. To me, it doesn't have a few of the elements that we talked about. It's not going to have the promos going into it, or if it's the promos, it's just going to be promos done that night because it is a SmackDown match.
Yeah.
It's not going to necessarily have the build because I can't remember at this time period there being a feud between Dolph and Tyson Kidd or Dolph and Cesaro. Yeah.
It's one of those sleeper matches, kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like it's on the card.
It just happened, and I appreciate it. I like this match. People. I don't think it's better than Cena Brock.
No, okay, you're right. It's different, but it's.
I know you hold this match in such high regard because you're like that person who discovered a band, and that's no one else knows about it. This is my band, and you're gonna give it more props.
It's just I don't know. It's just
I'm here, but be right back.
Oh, you're good.
Because that's when my love for wrestling really hit, and this match stuck. It was in that time, but I'll let it go. I'll let it go.
Super Russ, just on name brand alone, Cena versus Brock or Cesaro versus Tyson Kidd versus Dolph Ziggler, which match advances?
If I'm just going like on name power, I got to go Cena Brock. But I was a big Cesaro fan when he was with the company.
If I don't know if this is what kind of led to Tyson Kidd and Cesaro eventually forming a tag team, because they will be a tag team champions by the time WrestleMania 31 comes out. This would be partner number 6 for Cesaro. I don't know, but
he was with Jack Swagger.
Oh, okay. So it was maybe partner number 2.
Yeah.
Then he was with Swagger. Then he goes with Tyson Kidd.
Then he does after that. Is it the Nation or what? Not the Nation.
He wasn't in the League of Nations.
Okay.
I think it was just really. I kind of over exaggerated him having that many tag team partners, but I believe it was Jack Swagger, Tyson Kidd, and Sheamus were really his tag team runs. If anybody in the chat happened to watch both these matches, the Brock versus Cena and the triple threat match from SmackDown, if you did, let me know. I still say we're gonna do this gauntlet style. I think the match that needs to advance is Brock versus Cena over the Intercontinental title match. It's a good match. It's a good match. I would put it up there in the top 50 Intercontinental title matches of all time. It just it doesn't have the other elements like the build. Broadcast to advance. Which tag team did you forget about, David? The Tyson Kidd or the Sheamus with Cesaro?
I know Sheamus and Cesaro had a great run as the Bar.
A Bar, yes.
Yeah, they were.
And I hated that their big WrestleMania match defending the tag team titles was against Braun Strowman and just some kid.
Yeah.
Tyson Kidd. He forgot.
Who, if you buy the figures, you get a build a figure of him. I can't remember what his name was, but Nick
something.
It was one of the referees' kids. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I look at this. So Nightwing is a big follower of the up, up, down, down crew and whatever. So he likes to make sure he calls Cesaro Swish. Do you watch those guys, Russ?
It's been a long time. I used to watch them on the regular, but it's been a long time since I've seen it.
So Nightwing will jump in on their Twitch streams, and they've responded to his comments before. So
oh, nice.
He's left, right. I'm sorry. Left, right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Nightwing.
Sorry, Nightwing. I'm sorry. See how serious he takes this.
Get it right.
Yeah. But like I said, the Intercontinental match, it does hold some value because it was unexpected. You weren't, if you were going into SmackDown that night, you wouldn't have expected to see one of the greatest matches of the year. It would have blown you away.
Yeah, sometimes, man, the regular show will just put on a banger.
Yeah. And
because that led me to think of other matches that happened on Raw, like that were just regular matches, and they ended up like staying in my brain.
It's also the party. So yeah, look at this, getting schooled by Nightwing, by Nightwing McBain.
No. Changed it.
All right, so match number 7. No, I'm sorry, match number 8 is Payback 2014 Shield versus Evolution 6-man match, but also a 6-man elimination match, 3-on-3. Russ, what is this match known for? Because you even messaged me on Instagram.
Blue Tista,
yes.
And we never bought the figure for him.
I know. I'm so upset.
Don't have a Batista figure.
I thought we might have a basic, but we don't have an elite. Blue Tista. Shout out Blue Tista. Apparently it was trending on Twitter.
Yeah, the announcers even called it out. That was crazy.
And then you hear the crowd chanting Blue Tista.
Yeah.
The only thing about Batista this night is he should have buzzed his hair, shaved his head, or something like. Oh,
yeah.
Just like balding Tista, and it's like, oh no, don't do that. 2014 was a great year. in wrestling because we did have the return of Batista, a man who I feel is one of the best big match wrestlers of all time. If there's a big match on a card and Batista's in it, it doesn't have to be the main event. He's going to deliver. I speak on this as being one who attended a WWE. I'm going to call it the F WWE pay-per-view in 2000. Oh man, was it 2007 when Benoit?
Yeah.
Okay, so I attended the Vengeance Night of Champions in 2007. The main event was a 5-way fight. It was Cena, Booker T, Mick Foley. I can't name the other two guys. I think maybe Bobby Lashley was in it, maybe Orton. But also on the card was Batista versus Edge, and I think it was there was some rule where they had to. I guess you knocked them out of the ring and they had to get back in the ring in a 10 count because it wasn't a last man standing match, or maybe it was. But I told my cousin, don't sleep on the Batista versus Edge match. It's going to be a good match. And being there in the crowd, that was the match of the night. And so since then, I feel like if Batista's in a big match, he's going to deliver. Batista versus Undertaker at WrestleMania 23 probably should have been the main event because you had Taker win the Royal Rumble that year. That match was awesome. Now, I'm a big time fan of Shawn Michaels versus Cena from WrestleMania 23. I always talk about it being in my top so many matches. But Batista and Undertaker, for being big guys, delivered that night. So I'm a big fan of Batista. I thought he got hosed a little bit in 2014. Everybody was booing him. Yeah. He's right though. He says he wishes he would have come back as a heel. I think that probably should have happened.
Yeah,
he probably should have come back as a heel because the way it works is the guys who are heels that everybody hates eventually get loved. That's what it took.
Love to hate.
It's what it took for Roman Reigns to become the biggest star in the world.
And it took him how long? How many years?
Well, because they tried to shove him down our throat, like DJ was saying. You shoved him down our throat.
No, but I'm saying, how many years did it take for people to be like, okay?
Oh yeah, but by like month 2 or 3 into the tribal chief thing, everybody was like, okay, Roman's legit. You know.
Oh no. As soon as I saw him come out with Heyman, I was like, okay, trigger cool.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it took some time, but you could see that it wasn't the same.
Yeah, no.
I mean, obviously, Reigns is Reigns, but like you see Heyman, you see this alter thing. Yeah, it sucks that they ended the Fiend the way they did with Reigns coming in and taking it, but that was great. Just seeing him come out like that with Heyman and everything.
Yeah, I'm sure it took a lot too for Reigns to come back from the suffering succotash promo.
Yes.
I can't believe that didn't just kill his career.
His wearing him the contact.
But going back to Batista, it's like it was almost derailed from the start, you know, and it kind of hurt that everybody knew, oh, he's going to win the Royal Rumble, he's going to take on Randy Orton at WrestleMania, when everybody wanted Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Like he was set up for failure in 2014. But I was a huge Batista fan. I was happy he won the Royal Rumble. He's on a short list of Royal Rumble winners. He's a 2-time winner. So like, just build Batista up. If they would have known how big Guardians of the Galaxy was going to be, he would have been treated a whole lot better.
And I think not the only reason, but the only reason he was kind of billed the way he was, besides being a monster, is because he was Evolution. He was Triple H, Ric Flair. But he proved his own.
Yes. Yeah. So here we go. Let me see. So we have this. Let's see. I want to make sure I get the pay-per-view right. Payback 2014, Shield versus Evolution. It's the main event. Daniel Bryan has already kind of gone out the way. He's got his injuries, whatever. I don't know if they stripped the title up from him yet. This is the main event. You've got your trio, with the exception of a match that is later on in this list that pretty much were unbeatable in the Shield, versus Evolution. 3 legends, 3 Hall of Famers, 3 whatever you want to call it, 3 former world champions. Mm-hmm. Good match. Was it no DQ?
Yes, okay. Because they were all out. They were out of the ring.
No hold barred, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know that's how it started.
And I can't forget when Seth Rollins, if it's this match were him and the Wyatt family, but Seth jumps from the rope into one of the wrestlers are by like the well, not the barricades, but you know where the fans are, and like the barricades, and he almost
Guardrail.
the guardrail, almost like breaks his neck, like just trying to flip. And man, that gave me a panic. But you just see how amazing of a workhorse Seth Rollins is, like with the whole dynamic of the Shield.
Yes, I was gonna say that watching these two Shield matches, and I used to tell Lady Prime all the time. I said I think Seth Rollins is the best wrestler on the planet right now because he could do so much. He was so quick. He was so good. He was. I tend to go to heels. Like when we're kids, we like faces. Then we become adults and teenagers, and we like the rebels. We like heels. And I thought, man, Seth Rollins. I thought it from the start. He was the stud of the group, but I knew who they wanted to push to the moon. But Rollins just these matches, the Shield versus Evolution, and later on the Shield versus the Wyatt family. Seth Rollins, just man, stud. Like, oh god, like Russ, you saw all of this match.
Yeah, that was a great match, man. I was a huge fan of the Shield back in the day, so rewatching that was awesome. I forgot like how good that match was. It was right after that, like on the Raw or SmackDown after that is when Rollins turned heel, right?
It's the next.
That was like their last match as a team.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's the very next night.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
I remember because when that was first going down, I knew something was going to happen, but I thought it was going to be Dean Ambrose that flipped and turned heel on him.
I think
so. I was surprised when it was Rollins.
So I want to say in February, maybe even January, they started teasing Ambrose and Reigns kind of having some issues with one another.
Yeah.
And Rollins would be the one to separate them, break them up, try to get them back on the same page. Because it felt like leading into WrestleMania 30, they may go into a triple threat match. Kind of what they did a few years before with Orton, Cody, and Ted DiBiase at WrestleMania 26. They had Legacy in a triple threat match. It kind of seemed they were going that route. Where they didn't go that route, they kind of reunified them. And I want to say it happened because they put the Shield opposite the Wyatt family, and the crowd loved it.
Yeah.
So they extended it just a little bit longer. So WrestleMania 30, it's the New Age Outlaws and Kane versus the Shield, and the Shield just dominates a squash match because it's quick, as Bottom Tier Collector says. And
Billy Gunn hurt himself.
I think it's the last match Billy Gunn had in WWE. I could be wrong. Just like during the comic covers contest, we all cheer on Fanboy Prime till we need the heel to win, and then no gets the nod. Thanks, David.
They like to see.
That's funny.
But so there was already some seeds planted that it was going to be Dean and Roman. Something was going to happen between them two. One of them was going to turn on the other. It was never going to be Rollins because Rollins was always the peacemaker, the one to break it up.
They were going to make you think it was Dean because Dean's the lunatic.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Lunatic fringe.
Yeah, so the I guess it was Backlash. The Shield defeats Evolution, and here's the rematch. And yeah, like Russ is saying, the next night,
Plan B.
Yeah, it's like the Shield. Okay, if you can't beat them, join them. And so Triple H was like, well, we can't beat this guy. Let me bring him over. So who's going to be the one to come over? And like Seth Rollins said, he didn't sell out. He bought in, and it's a great move when you include that with the story that makes this match that much better. Because how does this match end, Russ?
Oh man, trying to remember now.
It was an elimination match. So how many members of the Shield were left?
I think all three were still left, wasn't they? Yeah.
All three members of the Shield were left. They did my boy Batista wrong by making him be the first one eliminated.
Yeah.
Triple H going into business for himself, making himself the last one. But I started thinking about it. Because first my initial reaction is he's a part-timer. He should have been the first one eliminated. but he already knew that Batista was leaving, so let's eliminate Batista first. And he probably should have had Orton because who's a full-timer.
Yeah.
But because of what's going to happen the next night, it had to be Triple H. He was going to be the one to fight to the end, fight to the end, fight to the end. And then he had to make the call that, like, okay, I can't beat him, so I got to break him up. And good story.
I remember I hated seeing the Shield break up, but at the same time, I was thinking, what else can they do as a team? Because they had done like everything. And
they dominated.
Yeah, they needed to like go off and like get some singles titles and stuff. I hated to see them break up, but at the same time, I understood like it was time.
It's like watching your kid grow up. Like you love them. I showed a picture during the live stream this morning of me and Ollie when I had long hair, and he's like falling asleep on my chest. Like you love those moments, but I also want him to grow up and be his own man and be his own person.
Yeah.
And it's like this team can't stay this way forever. It can't stay this way forever. You have to grow with them. And Seth Rollins is such a good heel that it made sense that he would be the one to break away and join the what were they called?
The Authority.
The Authority. Yes, it made sense for him to be the one to call the Authority. Plus, we had those great moments when he's finally world champion, where we have his version of the Stooges.
J&J Security. J&J Security.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Those guys are so great. They should have never released those guys. They should have been the security forever. So you said you didn't watch this match, but you kind of remember it, DJ?
Yeah, I remember vaguely. I watched it live, so
they did a good job because each member of the Shield gets a pin.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Dean first, then Rollins, then of course Roman's going to get the last pin because Roman's got to be shot to the moon. Good match. Good match.
31 minutes. 31 minutes. Wow.
Yeah. So we were looking at the list, and I told my wife, I told Lady Prime, I was like, I bet you the Triple H versus Daniel Bryan match is going to be the longest match. And she's like, because Triple H is in it? I said, because Triple H is in it. Like him and Sean believe you have to take the most amount of time, period, to tell the story. Because if you go back to like the golden era, 80s, early 90s WWF, like a 12-minute match, 15-minute match you could get a full story out of it.
Yeah.
It's not till later on that the 30-minute matches came. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
No, I said as long as they're done correctly, yeah. The 15, 10 minute. Hell, there was a couple times I think like a less than 10-minute match was great.
Yeah, for sure. Bret Hart, Roddy Piper, we mentioned it early on. That's not a very long match when you look at it.
But then there was a match when we went to the NXT show. It was a takeover. It was Gargano versus Pete Dunne. It just needed maybe like 10 more minutes, and then it would have been because we were already like, oh, this is going to be a good match. Pete Dunne, Gargano's, and then it was like. It needed a little bit longer. Some guys tell stories differently, and Shawn Michaels, give him 30 minutes. I generally trust him to have a great match. I don't feel that way about Triple H, other than 2000 to 2001, before his quad injury. Like, guy was hitting banger after banger after banger. After that, though, like, I sat through WrestleMania 32's main event between Reigns and Triple H. It was a hard. We saw everybody leaving, the mass exodus of people leaving the stadium. I sat through Randy Orton versus Triple H at WrestleMania 25. Like I've been so fortunate that two of the WrestleManias I went to were the worst main events I've ever seen. But Triple H tries to tell a story. He's so much better behind the scenes than he is in the ring. I don't know. God bless him. He's had great matches, but when he's in there with the wrong guy, but yeah, this was a long match. They lost their world champion, so maybe the plan originally was different. Maybe they needed to go longer. Who knows? Kelly and George Squad was saying made sense, and then what they did 10 years later, the story continued with Reigns and Cody. Yes, sir. Yeah.
That was finally the great closure of that.
I mean, and we also thought when we heard the Shield music that we thought, oh, Dean's gonna come back. Like,
oh man, I thought the same thing.
So
it got me too, man. I thought for sure.
it's so ridiculous how many people thought that like AEW was going to let Dean show up to WrestleMania. But
like I'm sure deep down we all knew, okay, no, his contract is not going to happen. But then like you said, that instant, like, what the hell?
you
Really?
believed it. You believed it because why were they going to play that music for Seth coming out?
Yeah,
Like, oh,
and then
man.
because Seth had already done that when he
Fighting
wrestled Reigns,
Yeah.
came out to the crowd with the Shield music.
Oh, he
So-
did that at
Yeah.
the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I
that's
forgot
why-
about that.
So
Man.
that's why I was like, oh, he wouldn't do it again. Like, why would you do it again?
Right.
So
Speaking of that, did you guys see the video where Reigns gets knocked down or something like that, and his leg kind of he's over here and his leg is over here?
Oh, where Reigns hits Rollins and Rollins' leg.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at and then you see videos of him like limping after Mania.
Oh
like,
yeah, man.
I didn't
Like,
notice it during the show.
I knew he was injured, but holy crap, man. He
Like, I knew
still
he
wanted
was-
to do what he needed to do.
Yeah.
like I knew he was injured, but I didn't know that he got injured right then and there at WrestleMania.
Well, see,
And
he
then I
still
couldn't-
had that injury months before, so I don't know if he just didn't fully let it heal. You know, he had the tag match to kind of hide some, but Rollins was the star of WrestleMania weekend. Just
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
amazing performance.
Yeah, he was.
So I don't know if he just came back too early and his leg wasn't ready or what, but man, shout out to
I
Seth
still say they missed a huge opportunity there with that tag match, not letting Rollins come out dressed as like Rocky Maivia from his debut.
Yeah.
That would have been
I do
been
I do
great.
remember you mentioned that. That would have been great.
Yeah, because
I
he had
thought
'Cause I know he did the polka dots with Cody. He did the
Cody.
Shield thing with Roman before.
Yep.
And I was
that
just
was the-
thinking
that
that
was
would have
the
been
story.
fantastic.
Yep.
I thought he was going to do it, but
Great 6-man matches. I'm not really big on 6-man, although lately AEW has kind of changed my perspective of it, and seeing some of the 6-mans we've seen live, like okay, like I started opening myself up to multi-man matches. This match versus Brock and Cena.
it's
Which one?
Brock and Cena's going to.
You think Brock and Cena is better
This is not my favorite Shield match.
match on this list?
On this list.
Okay, DJ, how you feel? Brock and Cena
I
advances?
agree. Yeah, Brock and Cena advancing just because of where it was in the story compared
Gotcha.
to Shield and Evolution. Both
Russ?
stories are top tier, but yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm
gotcha.
going to be the odd man out here and give it to the Shield match. I love that match, man.
Wow.
And knowing that was basically the end of the Shield 2, that adds more to it for me.
It adds to the legacy of
Here, you
it.
can write 'em.
Yeah.
No,
It does. Yeah. I can
Wes,
agree to that.
I'm gonna track your list now because you've got Shield advancing. I'm just curious where your list ends up. What you find as the best match? I'm curious. I'm saying I'm going with the consensus. Brock and Cena is better in this match because of the overall effect of it. But like DJ said, this is a great story too, and to know that what happens the next night. The one critique I had on this match, because at first I thought this match was better than the match they had with the Wyatt family, is there's a beatdown segment of it where they take out the chairs and kendo sticks or whatever it is. It just seems to go on a little long. It kind of halts the momentum of the match.
Is that where he like pulled Reigns underneath the steel steps and like just take turns beating him with the kendo stick?
Yeah. It kind of, and this is where Triple H makes the match go on a little bit longer than it needs to. I think it kind of puts a halt on the match. The match does pick up again when Rollins does that jump from I don't know if it was the Titantron or somewhere. He jumps high, and it kind of leads to the ending of the match where the Shield gets the advantage again. But I did think this part, of course, I'm saying that, and of course there's a slow part in the Brock Cena match. So maybe I don't make sense. It's where
Maybe you're just hating on Triple H.
maybe I am hating on Triple H.
No, and the hating on Triple H, you know what I thought at the time? Nobody was beating the Shield. I figured, okay, the Evolution's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Orton's gone. Oh, Batista's gone. Oh, great. Triple H is gonna take them out one by one. Really? That's what I thought was gonna happen.
Yeah, that's what when he picked that sledgehammer up, I thought that's it, man. He's gonna squash him.
Yeah.
I thought that. I thought people were gonna come out and interfere. All this different thing. I'm so glad they had Shield win.
So after watching the two Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker matches at WrestleMania 25 and 26, I was so certain that Triple H was going to book himself to beat Undertaker.
I did
the
too.
next WrestleMania. And so
Yeah.
there's this one pinfall at WrestleMania 27 where it's the slow ref count and the ref hits 1, 2, and it's like as close as you can get to where Undertaker kicks out. And I remember watching it with my cousin, and my cousin popped up like
He was like,
he popped right there in our house. We were watching it at my mom's, and because he believed the same thing. He's like, this Master Triple H is gonna book himself to be the one to beat the Undertaker. And I think we even thought the same thing when they wrestled in the Hell in the Cell. So yes,
Hell in a Cell, yeah.
Oh yeah, when he took the sweet chin music and into the pedigree.
yes, it was like
I thought,
this
oh
is-
god,
this
they're
is
gonna
happen.
end it here.
As bad as it would have been, I think it would have also been cool because it was the 3 of them.
Yes. I tell you this, it would have had a bigger response from the crowd than they did at WrestleMania 30 because the crowd, like being in that crowd, I've never felt a building empty air like so
you were
quickly in
at
my
that
life.
when he lost?
When Lesnar beat Undertaker.
Oh shit! I didn't know you were at that one.
Yeah, we were at
Oh,
WrestleMania
wow.
30. That's I'm wearing my WrestleMania I was there shirt right now.
Okay, nice.
we were there. We were, we had this one guy. He was like all about Brock, like talking like Brock's gonna take it. Brock's gonna take it. We're watching the match.
Well, hold on. We're watching the match, and the crowd's not really into it.
Yeah.
And I turned to her, and I'm like, man, everybody knows Undertaker's gonna win. There's like, the crowd's not into it. Everybody knows Undertaker's gonna win. There's no like, there's nothing on the line. Cut to what? 2 minutes, 3 minutes after I said that.
Yeah, we we're just like, wait, what? Like we looked at each other like, did that really just happen? Everybody was confused. The guy that was cheering for Brock was confused. He was like,
he's like me sometimes, where like something's not gonna happen, but you want to be the douche about it.
Yeah.
Like even he didn't believe it happened. Nightwing was there in the arena with us.
Wow.
When we went to that show, and yeah, so
I mean, I know there's some sucky elements, but that was such a freaking surprise.
it broke my heart because that was my first WrestleMania, and
Yeah.
Undertaker was the reason why I got into wrestling. Like he was my guy. And to see, like, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be part of, like, get to see the streak, and I got to see it end. I was like,
Oh, gosh.
all right, let's see.
Sorry.
Next match. Yeah, I know. I mean, the air just went out of it was crazy.
Yeah.
Next matchup is Night of Champions, Cesaro versus Sheamus. Did everybody get to watch that one?
I did watch that one.
Dude, phenomenal, like awesome, just like hard-hitting match. Hard-hitting match.
Seeing that and then seeing Mania 2 years ago with Gunther and McIntyre and Sheamus, holy crap.
Oh yeah.
What's crazy is that if you were to go back and look at the history of Sheamus and Cesaro, because I thought this took place during their Best of 7 series, it doesn't. That series still happens a year or two down the line. So these two they're kind of linked, they had this run in with the United States title. I think even the pay-per-view before this, they have a match. Cut 2 years later, they have the Best of 7 leading to their great tag team. So yeah.
Yep.
Nightwing says they flashed the 21-1. There was a gasp from everyone. Yeah, so they did put the 21-1 after Brock beat or 21, whatever it was, after Brock won, and I guess that's when we knew it was official because they didn't play the music right away. So it was supposed to be like even they were kind of shocked it happened. So yeah, good point, Nightwing. Good hard hitting match, and I want to say that when we watched it, I think you fell asleep during that, and I said, "Hey, you need to go back and watch this match. It was really good."
Yeah.
What I do like about this list is there's a whole bunch of different styles of matches, and so this one was cool seeing. I do have to say that the ending caught me a little off guard because Sheamus was kind of dominating, and then it was like was it like a ref spot or something like that?
Yeah.
So did the right guy win?
Wait,
Yeah.
did I watch the wrong one? Isn't this the one where Sheamus won?
Yeah, Sheamus won.
Oh, the way you said it. Sorry.
No, it was like Cesaro was dominating, and then Sheamus kind of catches it with the bro kick out of nowhere and takes the win. Yeah.
Okay.
Russ, thoughts on this match?
Oh man, I love this match. I was a Cesaro fan when he was with the company, like I said earlier. I'm upset that he never got a world title run in the company, but the matches he had, like like going into it, I thought this was a part of their best of 7 too. So I was like, whoa. I forgot that that was later. But
there's a lot of hidden gems you'll find going back. I don't know what pay-per-view it was. I think it was something from 2004, and I put it on, just something to play in the background. It may have been Shelton Benjamin versus Jericho for the IC title, and it's really great. I think it's an opening match. It's a really, really good match. No one would ever mention it as like the top matches of 2004 or anything like that, but you will stumble across these matches, and then that's where your appreciation comes. So I forgot how good this match was. I do remember telling you should have watched it, but I didn't remember. I don't know. I didn't remember how the both guys delivering the way they did. This is the second time Cesaro's on the list. So Cesaro had a good 2014 because I think he's on here a third time.
Yeah,
he's
on here 3 times. 1, 2.
And it had the stakes. It had a U.S. title on the line. It's good stuff. Are you guys like me? And maybe I'm wrong. I don't like guys who were former world champions going back later on and wrestling for a secondary title. It's always bothered me.
Yeah, I've always thought that was weird when it's like they're taking a step back to me.
Right.
It feels like even when Cena came back and went for the U.S. title, I thought, why?
The only time it makes sense to me is like when they're in the twilight of their career.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you when this comes from. This comes from being a WWF fan, like late 80s, early 90s. The guys who won the world title never went to wrestle for the Intercontinental title again. And a lot of those guys would eventually get phased out. If they won a world title, they didn't win an IC title. That wouldn't happen till later on.
Yeah.
Kind of
I can agree to it. But look what Cena did for the U.S. title, though.
Right. So it's like
true.
it's a two-way street. I always associated it more with WCW because WCW they didn't have an issue with, okay, Sting was a world champion, now he's a U.S. champion. I feel like WWF got that from them. WCW employed that more often back then. So it's just one of those little quirks that bothers me, but ultimately it doesn't really matter. I just wanted to point it out, see if anybody else is like that. But now I see how wrong I am.
Well, no, I agree, but like I said, Cena, I mean, with that whole open challenge thing,
he elevated the title.
Yeah, it ended up being good, but when it first happened, I was just like, this is so weird to me.
Yeah. Because again, he was super Cena.
Yeah, he was like the top guy for so long.
He had
it was like odd seeing him with like a
Raw for the U.S.
Yeah, during that whole open invitation thing, I mean, we talked about when Sami Zayn got to make his main roster debut, and he punches the air and throws his arm out of socket or whatever.
And they still had a match.
I totally forgot about that. He was hurt before he even got in the ring.
He was hurt before he even got in the ring.
I mean, they always say, you could get hurt walking out to the ring.
Walking outside.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think this beats Cena Brock. Unless you guys got more to say about the match, I'll hold off my thought. But if we've kind of said what we need to say about it, I think hard hitting, good match, solid match.
Intensity was there.
Yeah, but I still don't think it's better than Cena Brock. You?
Yeah, not better than Cena.
DJ?
At that time, no.
You're in this gauntlet of matches. Cena Brock still advances. Got you.
Cena Brock, yeah.
Russ, is this better than the Shield versus Evolution?
No.
All right.
They had some later matches that could have been contenders for that, but this one, no.
I do appreciate a good stiff match.
Yeah.
Good stiff match.
Oh, yeah.
And they're both willing to, take it.
Let's see. Apparently I can't count. 10, 9, 8, 7. Okay, so we're on match 6. This is the NXT TakeOver Fatal 4-Way. Neville defends his NXT title against Sami Zayn, Tyler Breeze, and Tyson Kidd. I'm going to speak first on this. I'm a fan of Sami Zayn, and I forgot how amazing NXT Sami Zayn was. Like, when they said he was the heart and soul of NXT, I buy it, especially after going back and rewatching this. Neville was never a guy I really enjoyed until a match later on this list when he took on Sami Zayn. Then I was like, okay, Neville's legit. Tyson Kidd has always been okay. Tyler Breeze, I'd never thought reached his full potential. if there's a match that I do not think should be on this list, this is it.
Really?
I
Really?
did not like this match.
I think it does to a point because it leads to the Zayn versus Neville match. With
Right.
the story.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, it's not going to pass Brock and Cena, obviously.
Yeah.
But it was good for what the four of them were doing, and the story for Zayn at that time.
But then it also leads in because isn't Kevin Owens already made his?
No.
He hasn't made it his debut
no.
It
yet.
would be the next takeover.
Okay.
Yeah, he hasn't made the debut yet.
Russ, thoughts on this match?
I liked it a lot, man. I'm pretty sure this was my first time seeing this match. I don't remember watching that one back in the day.
Yeah,
Did
same.
you know who
So
won?
I'd like forgotten like how good Tyson Kidd was in the ring. So it's kind of cool seeing a match with him. If I remember, Neville retained, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought Sami Zayn was going to win it then because I remember he was the NXT champion when Kevin Owens came in, but that was later, like you said.
Yeah, see, I was dumb and watched it out of order. I watched the singles match first. I didn't realize. But no, I think it was a good, like you guys said when I was away, NXT at that time was just freaking dominant.
The golden era of NXT. And it's so weird because the way people would be brought up, there's like different sections of NXT. Still all during the takeover years, it's all good. But if you have like the Sami Zayn era, then you've got like this era of Finn Balor. Then you move on to the Gargano, Ciampa era. Then you move on to the Undisputed era. It's just, it was all consistently good. And like, I wish that Sami Zayn had never gone to the main roster because I would have liked to see him take on Gargano. Would have liked to see him interjected with Tommaso Ciampa, Adam Cole, and stuff like that. But man, NXT was just a great tease for what hopefully is going to happen on the main roster now with Triple H kind of being in charge of things.
But then
It's funny because I'll go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Neil
That's funny because I remember NXT back then. I said earlier, to me back then NXT was better than anything they were doing on Raw or SmackDown. And I remember I would always feel a dread in my stomach when somebody got called up to Raw or SmackDown because I had seen that what they would do with and it was just like they would ruin their characters and wouldn't use them right. I'm like, what are you doing? Just leave these guys on NXT and let them cook, man.
Nakamura.
Bobby Roode.
Yeah.
Nakamura.
Yep.
Tyler Breeze.
So many people that were just incredible in NXT that came up to the main roster. Yeah. They wasted Asuka to me.
Oh yeah.
She had that huge streak with the women's title, the undefeated streak.
And they feed her to Charlotte.
And they just and they didn't even hype it up after. They didn't make a big deal out of it. Like Charlotte broke this big streak. It was just another match, and they never mentioned it again. Like, what are you doing? That should have had so much build. And they didn't even mention it.
Undefeated streak. I'm like you. I would not have had fed her to Charlotte. She would have won that match. The person that would have eventually beat her would have been the one that gave her the closest matches in NXT. I would have eventually had Ember Moon beat her.
That's exactly what I was thinking, man. Because she came the closest.
I thought they dropped the ball.
She had
that would have been
and everything.
That would have been a great WrestleMania match, Asuka and Ember Moon.
That was another person they let slip through their fingers. They didn't do much with her on the roster.
Yeah.
And I having all these guys, I always wanted them to stay back, like the Zayn, the Joe, the Finn Balor. But then I started thinking to myself, it would have just been it would have been Ring of Honor, but on a bigger scale. So
Callie and Jordan Sod says, Bobby Roode lives in the same city as me. Would see him in the local grocery store. He was so much better than what they showcased. Yeah. I do think one thing that kind of hurt Bobby Roode is that his song got more over than he did.
Yeah.
It was because of Gargano.
Because of Gargano and Ciampa.
It's great. For a while back then, that his theme song was my entrance music on YouTube.
Well, even Nakamura had a great entrance too. So
Yeah, we're fortunate enough to have attended the takeover before the 2007 Royal Rumble in San Antonio. So we got to sing Bobby Roode's entrance and Nakamura's entrance with a crowd.
Nice.
So
Nice.
that's a top fandom moment for sure.
Yeah, they're awesome to see in live.
Let's see. So we're still talking about the Fatal 4-Way. Is that what we're on?
Yeah.
Your thoughts on it?
I mean, it was a good Fatal 4-Way. Those are not easy matches too. Triple threats, Fatal 4-Ways. Those are.
What makes them hard is because they got into a formula of doing it. Hey,
Yeah.
let's get this guy to sit out on the side of the ring while we have a match, and then somebody come in. So I do always appreciate when they get creative with it and they find a way to work around those things or to do something differently. I will say that. I can think of two or three more matches that are better than this match that should have been on the top 10 list.
They started feeding us too many Fatal 4-Ways too for a while.
Right. It lost its ability to be unique. It lost its specialness. That's good. That's good. That's a good comment.
I was gonna make it, but I'll wait until we get to that match.
Okay, got you. His song is the song they play when Peterborough Pete's score. The Peterborough's Pete's score. Wow, see that?
Easy for you to say.
Yeah. All right, DJ, your thoughts on this match?
Watching it, I think it was the first time. It was good. They each brought what they needed to for the story. I felt it was either going to be Zayn or Neville. I didn't think the other two were going to win, unfortunately. But just seeing some of those freaking moves, oh my gosh. I think I do a little bit scale 7 out of 10 for me.
Oh, if you were to place this?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Gotcha.
But again, Brock and Cena.
I honestly feel like it's one of the weaker takeover main events.
But then when I was watching it, I said, I need to go watch Neville. Well, now he's known as Pac. Need to watch his style of wrestling versus what he was doing in NXT, because I was like, I wonder if it's changed over time, because obviously we know Sami Zayn doesn't wrestle the way he used to.
What is the spinning one where he drops him down almost like a power bomb?
Yeah.
I was like, he didn't do that to Gunther. That's like one of his signature moves. He didn't do that to Gunther. Yes, there you go. Thank you. All right, I do want to make one comment, and then we'll go on and advance, see which match advances, but I'm pretty sure we know which one. Your thoughts on the crowd size at a takeover, because it's still when they're in Full Sail. Does it diminish the show?
No.
Right. It doesn't at all.
I think you can have a crowd of 10 people, and if you put on that match, it's still.
This is good stuff. Well,
Yeah.
Here's why I make the comment, because AEW is going through a really tough period of drawing crowds. I really think they should scale back and go to a smaller arena, because they put on the matches that would drive a crowd this size crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would make for a great TV product if they did it. But maybe money-wise, they're still getting better deals. But
I think they're shooting too much. They're shooting high too much. They're trying to compete against.
They're like when DC tried to catch up to the MCU. It's like you're trying to do too much. Build yourself up. I feel like AEW could throw themselves into a crowd this size, and like I said, AEW puts on very similar matches to the matches kind of we saw during Takeover. I do think the Takeover does better on the selling and stuff. But I don't think they should be afraid of the smaller arena. I thought, the only thing I didn't like is that it always happened at Full Sail and all these cool things. I did like when they started going elsewhere and we got to have takeovers in different cities.
Yeah.
But the small crowd, you couldn't even tell it was a small crowd.
No.
The way the way that it was mic'd, they were going nuts and you felt it. So I just wanted to make that comment. Russ, does this match, this Fatal 4-Way, beat the Shield versus Evolution?
I enjoyed the match a lot, but nah.
Shield
versus Evolution moves on for me.
We
still agree with Brock Cena. You still agree with Brock Cena?
Yep.
Gotcha. All right. All right. Let's see.
The Royal Rumble.
Oh, Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt. Royal Rumble 2014. Thoughts?
It made me sad.
It made you sad. Why did it make you sad?
Because of Bray Wyatt.
Because
he was such a compelling character. Like when the Wyatt family came out, and if they asked me to shave my head, I would have shaved my head. Like if they would have said, "Come in the ring, shave your head, be part of my family," he was such a great storyteller. Not with just his promos, but in the ring, the way he did things. Just
That documentary was awesome.
I haven't seen it yet because I know if I watch it, it's gonna make me cry because he was a dad and he's a husband and
that was me. I'll admit to it right here, right now. I cried, and
That's
wife
good.
tried to make fun of me for it in a loving way.
Yeah, got you.
Yeah.
So just the match made you sad. So
Yeah.
the emotions.
Just
Gotcha.
the emotions.
I completely forgot it was on the list. That was when he was with them, wasn't it? Or when he just broke away from them?
He just broke away from them. They had and I don't remember what the cage match was. I don't know if it was Bray and D-Bry versus the Usos for the tag title. I don't remember what it was exactly. There was some reason they were in a cage.
Yeah.
And then Daniel Bryan breaks away. That's where because part of the thing is that Bray wants to give Daniel Bryan the Sister Abigail, and he won't let him. And he turns on him. He unzips the
jumper.
Yeah. That's where it's a great shot where he climbs the cage and he's doing the yes, and the whole crowd is doing it with him. It may have been when Daniel Bryan was the hottest he ever was. I know at WrestleMania 30, waiting in line, everybody was crazy for it, but how it sounds in that arena is just insane. I completely forgot that he passed away.
Oh.
No, and it's not like I forgot. It's just you mentioned it that it's sad, and I'm like sad. And you're like, yeah, because he's not with us, and I'm like, oh,
yeah. Well, that and then you've just watched these matches he was in.
Yeah,
too.
Yes.
So it's like I get it.
Slipped my mind. So you didn't watch this one?
I had forgotten it was on the list, to be honest.
Prep before that, okay.
Yeah,
but I forgot who won this match when I.
Yes.
I caught off guard.
We were watching it, and I was like, "Whoa, Bray won this match," and it makes sense because Bray's going to go off to face Cena at WrestleMania 30. But it did catch me off guard knowing where Daniel Bryan ends in a few months. What'd you think about it, Russ?
As far like originally when it was first happening years ago, I didn't like that angle at all going into it. It wasn't until I rewatched it yesterday that I got like more of an appreciation for the match. Because I remember thinking back in the day when it was first happening that this was just like they're trying to bury. To me, it felt like they were trying to bury Daniel because they didn't want to push him.
Yeah.
So back then, I hated the whole angle of him going to the Wyatt family because I figured that's just he's going to be a mid-carder.
Yeah,
a way to get him out of the title picture, right?
Yeah.
I felt that way too.
So yeah, it wasn't until I rewatched it last night that I was like, how good it was.
Did you watch just the match, or did you watch the video package leading up to the match?
I think I just fast forwarded to the match because I was like, last night I just binge watched all the matches, like one right after the other. So some of them are kind of bleeding together a little bit.
I feel that one right here in my soul. I felt that one because I was doing that before the stream.
I had 2 weeks and I waited till the last day and just binge watched.
I get it. I know. Well, the only reason I asked is because it does have a clip of that moment when he does unzip it and get with the crowd, and so crowd's fully behind Daniel Bryan. I think there's times where you book yourself into a corner because you got to have a winner and you got to have a loser, and I mean it didn't hurt Daniel Bryan overall, but looking at it, what's that?
I said not at that time. It didn't. No.
Right. No. It didn't hurt it, but it's like watching it, like having the full story in your head. You're like, well, if we're gonna have this story end like this, you wouldn't have had him lose here.
Now we know how it played out. We're just
now that we know how the story ended, you can kind of have question marks. But if you were gonna feed Bray to Cena, then I guess you needed him to to have all the wins that he could have. I guess I don't know. Good match. I think it's too high on the list. You thought so too, Russ?
Yeah, I'd say it's a little too high.
Yeah,
but it was a good match.
If you type in the top 10 best matches of 2014, you'll come up across 4 or 5 or 6 different lists. This is just the one we happen write down and use. But yeah, I think this one's too high. Kelly and Jordan Squad says had 2 weeks, but it feels good. It feels so good when you get it done on the last day by midnight.
Yeah.
Every term paper I had to write was done.
I've always been procrastinating.
Only had like 2 hours of sleep before going to school. Yeah. Neil says, I'm not picking, but do you all get attached to TV soaps because they are trained actors just the same? I won't say soaps, but like a good TV show. Like I was really into Battlestar Galactica, and you get hooked on the storylines, and you get hooked on the mini storylines going on. Yeah. I got hooked on Lost for a little while until someone spoiled the end for me, and I was like, I don't need to watch the show now. So yeah, you can get lost in it's the same thing. You get lost in comics. I've always felt that wrestling is the closest you get to comics coming alive. They have all these big Hollywood pictures. Give me wrestling.
I think that's why
Give me a good storyline.
When a wrestler does pass away, it does affect a lot of people because you're like, they were in my home
on a weekly basis.
On a weekly basis. You know what I mean? Like, man. So yeah, I get attached. Now when I hear the guys that I grew up watching, they're passing away, But yeah, Dante, look at Dante. Hey man, what's up, Dante's Game Room? But we are not actors, just watching a Hogan movie. Oh, I love that. I love that.
There was no disrespect, man, Dante. No disrespect, man. Dante, favorite Hulk Hogan movie? Guys in the panel, same thing. Super Russ, favorite Hulk Hogan movie?
Oh man. No Holds Barred.
I almost said that.
DJ, what you got?
His part in Rocky.
Oh, Thunderlips.
Thunderlips.
No. I don't know. I don't know why it's sticking in my head. The Three Ninja one when he was with the Three Ninjas. I don't know why that's in my head right now, but that's
that's good. I like Suburban Commando. I love Suburban Commando.
Oh yeah.
The shot with the Undertaker in there. It's funny. Bottom Tier Collector, but Rocky 3 is easily my favorite Hogan movie. Dante's Game Room, yes. Suburban Commando, awesome. Don't forget, he also makes an appearance, and it's not in every version of the movie, but he makes an appearance in Gremlins 2. They do like a meta scene where like the film roll messes up, and then they cut to Hogan in the theater, and he's like, if you Gremlins don't restart this movie, I'm gonna have to. And he starts ripping his shirt off, and so like the movie starts up again. So yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Thank you, Dante. Thank you for the moment of the stream. I really appreciate that.
That was a good. I love that comment. That's
awesome.
Good.
Bottom Trick Collector, the Ultimate Veil versus the Ultimate Meatball. I on Rocky movies, the charm is lost by Rocky 3 because Stallone was like, I'm going to get as buff and big as possible. And it's like, that's not Rocky from Rocky 2 and Rocky 1.
He had to in Rocky 3, man. He was fighting Clubber Lang. He had to get jacked.
Let's see. It still blows my mind that Hogan was in Rocky 3 before he became world famous. That's actually the catalyst that kind of led to him getting the pushes and whatnot. What blows my mind away is that you think Stallone is this big dude, and then you throw him next to Hogan.
Hogan, yeah.
The scale is that is not equal.
What were we watching? We were watching wrestling, but I was like, man, they're not very.
It was.
What were we watching?
It was someone who used to wrestle in a smaller ring, and then you said when they got to the WWF ring, you're like, oh, he's not really that big, and I can't remember who it was.
Oh wow.
It had to have been Chris Jericho.
Don't start. Our beef lives on forever, us.
I still want to point out that the greatest meme of all time is tell her you what is it? You have a Chris Jericho, or you look like Chris Jericho, but don't tell her which era.
Oh wow.
But don't forget, you said something nice about Jericho.
The last stream.
So that lives on forever.
No, it wasn't.
He had some great matches.
All right. Were you gonna say Russ?
He had some great matches.
Yeah, he did.
Jericho?
He did.
Yeah.
They should have let him win the world title on that Raw when he was teased to win the world title, because that's a great crowd reaction.
And
where they stripped it from him.
Was when because he was the first undisputed champion, and then they
In
try
San
to
Diego.
erase that and give it to Randy Orton.
Oh, when they redid it.
Oh,
20
Yeah, and they
All
The
right.
one thing, well, real fast. The one thing I've always loved about him is everything they gave him, he turned to gold.
The Planet of the Apes skit comes to mind. I don't remember what it was exactly, but they did the Planet of the Apes. It's something to do with Stephanie McMahon. So, and there's different wrestlers will talk in their
The
books.
Rock and Jericho and that Stephanie promo. Oh my gosh,
Hold on.
the list, everything he's done, man.
There's some wrestlers will talk about there's a time where you got to stand up for yourself, and I'm sure Jericho would agree with that. Like you got to make sure you don't do something. But then there's also where you've got to be willing to do what they ask you so that they can trust you with more important things. So it's like he did that thing with the Planet of the Apes, and he mentions it in his book. I don't know if it's his second book. He's like, I just make it work.
Yeah.
You just make it work.
I mean, he went over a freaking clipboard.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. You make mention of the Booker T and I'm sorry, the
Shane
Rock
McMahon, Rock, and Jericho. Yeah.
Yes. So when the Rock talked about Booker T in school, and he's like,
Oh yeah, that too.
"What's
Booker T
2
and
+
Shane
2?" Thomas Jefferson, sucker. Like
I use that all the time with my cousin, man. Booker T and Shane O'Mac, a punk ass sucker and a silver spoon, mother.
What's up, Wellbore?
Oh,
Wellbore was in the stream 2 weeks ago talking about his bullying in high school, where he knew two girls that they called Luke and Butch for the Bushwhackers. So I want to bring that up every time I see Wellbore.
And I still want to see the picture of when they were in high school. Like, oh man.
Were they just like walking down the hallway doing the thing, man?
Yes. Did watch WWE during that Undisputed Championship era. Ironically, for me to hate Lesnar now, I was a huge mark the first time in WWE when he wrestled. When Lesnar arrived on the scene, I don't know if y'all remember, he was destroying the Hardy Boys. It was good stuff. All right,
Lesnar destroyed a one-legged man.
What's that?
Lesnar destroyed a one-legged man.
Oh,
yeah. He had no mercy, man.
Yes.
F5'd his only leg into the ring post.
And the stuff with Eddie Guerrero.
Look up the chair shot. I don't know if it's Vince versus Zach Gowen or what Gowen. There's a chair shot Vince takes, and you just see the blood dripping from his head afterwards. I don't know if he did a bad blade job or if it was a legit, the hard way or whatever, but it's one of the worst / best bleeding I've ever seen from wrestling. Bottom Chick Collector, I remember that arc, Russ. I was so invested. Oh man. Whew. All right. So we all agreed that
except for Russ, because Russ is sticking to
Russ, Shield versus Evolution, still better than Daniel Bryan versus Bray.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we all agreed Cena, Brock still advances. Okay.
Yeah.
So then the next match on the list is
the first NXT arrival.
Yeah, it's basically the first takeover, but they called it NXT arrival. Sami Zayn versus Cesaro.
I remember watching this match, and
this was like the first real big special they did on the network. So this was their test run to make sure it would work during WrestleMania.
It was a great match, a great first match.
Great way to kick off everything. Yeah. You want to talk about it? This is Cesaro's third time on this list.
So. I know. It was a great match, especially when Sami Zayn's going to run through the ropes. And then Cesaro the elbow. Like, man, that was...
No title on the line. Sami Zayn just wants Cesaro's respect. So they had some matches beforehand. They had gotten up to a point where a 2 out of 3 falls match had taken place on NXT. I had never watched NXT before this. I don't know if you could watch it on WWE.com or how you could watch it before this, but I was excited to get the network to start watching NXT. And they definitely delivered with this show. It's a good show overall. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 spots that, you go back, you could change it, you want it done a little differently. But this match, to me, really put NXT on the map as far as because a lot of people it was their first time really watching it because of the network. And yeah. That's all your thoughts?
I mean, it was
Going through the ropes.
And then just watching it just makes me want to go back to watching NXT because
So just to watch it week by week.
Yeah, just like seeing where the guys are now. Because remember, well, we're not there yet, but the main title gets there. Everybody comes out. You see all the wrestlers that used to be in NXT, like.
Oh, because we saw. Oh, you're talking about in the match later on. I got you.
Yeah.
Got you. We'll mention it then. DJ, thoughts on this match?
Great way to showcase NXT at the time.
Like I said,
what it started the night, right?
I think it was the opening match. Yeah.
Yeah. What better way to start and show off, basically?
Like I said, the whole idea of Sami Zayn being the heart and soul of NXT, like it started right then and there. Russ, did you see this one?
Yeah. Looking back, I'm pretty sure this was the first NXT event that I remember seeing too. After it became NXT.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, like I started to say, Sheamus. Cesaro is just so good in the ring, man. His strength, his moveset. I don't know how he never held a world title on the main roster. I really don't.
Yeah.
He couldn't
Was
grab.
he the U.S.
He held the U.S. He was the U.S. champ. That was kind of his introduction. He was the U.S. champ for a while. Multiple-time tag team champion. I don't know if he ever held the IC title. He just didn't grab Vince's brass ring. Remember?
They said they said he lacked charisma.
Oh yeah, he lacked charisma.
And then he started to show it.
Yeah.
I think the worst thing they did was when they put him with Heyman is they nicknamed him the King of Swing.
Yeah.
Why? Why? You just had this great victory in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and you're gonna give him this geeky nickname.
I started hating.
It's like all think in Vince McMahon's mind. I think all Cesaro was good for was just doing the giant swing.
Yeah,
that was all.
And so I hated seeing it when.
Nightwing says he couldn't do promos.
Yeah,
there's a way to get around guys that can't do promos. They say Bret Hart couldn't do promos, and Bret Hart has a few of my most favorite promos of all time. Like when he wanted to give a match to Milano.
Look at Sid Vicious's promo skills, man.
Hey,
you don't know. I don't know.
There would be no Sid hate.
So Sid Vicious promo or Scott Steiner promo?
Yeah.
Steiner and Sid, dude. Like,
I love Steiner.
Sometimes it's not even
the Steiner
about
math promo Warrior. Is still one of the best
ever. It's not about what you say; it's how you say it. It's just how you say it. I don't know. The great matches are really hard to like get down and break down. This is just a really really good match of all time. I mean, a really good match. It's definitely on like the all time NXT matches. If I had to show people 10 great NXT matches to get somebody into, and I don't want them to see all the great ones because I want them to be surprised later on, like I would put this on that list because it's just like, well, I'll tell you what. The way they did it, this is like a lot of people's first experience with NXT. This is the first match they showed. I think this would be a great introduction you could show anybody. Hey, here's why we loved the golden age of NXT. Watch this match and then go on and watch it weekly, catch up on the shows. You'll get to see even better matches. But start here. Here.
It's funny, like how many great matches Sami Zayn was involved in NXT. It's like one of my all-time favorites. I can't remember the year, but it was Sami Zayn versus Nakamura. That's one of my all-time favorite NXT matches.
2016. I think that match sucks. It's terrible.
Whatever. He's such a hater because we didn't get to go. His cousin got to go, so he doesn't want his cousin to ever, admit that his cousin got to see one of the greatest matches.
We were in Dallas that night and we couldn't get tickets for the show. I'm sure we could have run up to the arena and like tried to get tickets, but we wouldn't have sat together. We went to the Ring of Honor. We went to the Ring of Honor show that night in Dallas. So, but yeah, that match was not the best match that happened that weekend. I was a Sami Zayn fan in NXT. I hate how he's evolved into that cocky personality. kooky personality. Kooky personality. That's bottom tier collector.
I agreed with that at the beginning because I didn't know where they were going with it, but then he turned it around. I felt
he really did
for the bloodline
when he that
just before the bloodline, like that out, tinfoil hat.
Oh, the conspiracy theory, Sami Zayn era. Yeah,
my cousin was sold on that. Yeah,
that's when isn't that when he was doing the promo and he actually brought up AEW by name in the ring?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
Yes, because I think he was doing something with Bobby Lashley. No,
I don't know.
They interviewed him. I think it was like I don't know if he was like on the Miz or whatever in the ring, and then he did bring up. He's like, he did. I do remember that.
Wow, I don't remember that.
You don't? They talked about it afterwards.
Don't get me started on Bret Hart on the mic. Stone Cold went circles around him on the mic in their feud. Stone Cold went around circles on a lot of people, but
I was just about to say
that. Bret Hart could make you feel like it was real, so I will never talk bad about Bret Hart. He's 1 or 1A on my list of all timers, so I'm biased against Bret Hart. I mean,
she's saying no.
No, no.
Don't get me wrong. He's become a bitter old man, and there was some clip I found on Instagram where somebody who only partially knows wrestling is talking about Bret, and they're like, "Who's that one guy who hates Goldberg? Who's that one guy who only talks about hating Goldberg? Like, who is that guy?"
It's like every time I see a Bret Hart clip, he's like trashing on Goldberg.
No, but I do bring up Bret Hart, like when people are doing punches and they don't sell it, like, and I'm like, Bret Hart's ready to type or say something, like talk bad about somebody. Bret
Hart, it was.
He did good.
It was real to him.
It was.
Yeah.
And I think wrestling would be good if it was real to a few more people. All right, Neil, we'll see you.
I'll give him that. I'll give Bret Hart that one.
All right, NXT arrival, Sammy versus Cesaro. Is this better than Brock Lesnar, John Cena?
Bye, Robin.
We'll see you, Robin.
Bye, Robin. Bye, Robin. I don't know. That's hard because this leads into what?
It doesn't matter what it leads into. The match on its own. Even though you already know all that stuff, so you can keep it in your head. Match on its own. There are no wrong answers.
Yes, but I have to live with it.
Just remember what you say is right, not him.
Man, okay, I'm just going based on my feelings. So I know what my heart wants to say, but I'm gonna go with Lesnar and Cena.
I didn't expect that. I'm gonna stick with Lesnar Cena. This is a really, really good match. This is the first time on this list where it's been a tough decision for me. But Lesnar Cena wins out.
Because it's sparking something in me to go back to watch NXT. So that's why I want to say it.
Neil, bye, Neil. Take care, Neil. Bye. Neil wants a bye.
Bye.
Russ, Cesaro, Sami Zayn, or Shield versus Evolution?
This is a tougher one. I've still got to stick with Shield and Evolution, I think.
All right. Wow. DJ, you're last on the board.
I'm like Lady Prom. I want to say the same thing, but
you can go now, Neil. Yes. We'll jump to y'all stream here in a bit.
That's funny. Yeah, I'm gonna go Cena and Lesnar still, unfortunately.
All right. Russ is the only one breaking a character right now.
Revolution was old news by 2014.
I did enjoy Evolution's return in 2014.
Yeah.
It made sense that Triple H would go back to his boys to take these guys on. Mm-hmm. And it made sense that the Shield would be the team that would still beat them. Like, I don't hate on it. I enjoyed it. All right. Next matchup. Okay, this list, if you read the article, the list says it's Daniel Bryan versus Triple H, and they count the triple threat match. I only counted the Sami Zayn and Triple H match because that's 2 matches. It's got to be 1 match. And I figure the Triple H versus Daniel Bryan match is better than the triple threat match that happens later on.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's better because of the storyline purposes, because Stephanie and Triple H were telling Bryan, you're not the guy, you're too short, you're
a B plus player.
You know, they did everything they could to stall Daniel Bryan in the yes movement, and then we got the great moments. That one Raw where everybody was chanting yes, they had the fans come out. So yeah, this would have been the better match versus the triple threat.
Yes.
Story wise.
All right. I'll start it off. This is the second best opening match in WrestleMania history. It loses points because before this match you had the promo with Hogan, Stone Cold, and The Rock.
He called it
it called it the Silver Dome. Yeah, so it doesn't feel like an opening match, but this is an opening match at WrestleMania. Second best opening match in WrestleMania history. It's behind Brett and Owen.
It's my favorite Triple H entrance.
Oh, Triple H did have a phenomenal entrance with who was it? Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, and Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks,
Sasha
that
Banks
was
probably
awesome.
hating on Alexa Bliss the whole time that they're there.
I felt it. I felt the mean girl energy.
The mean girl energy.
I love the skull. I love Skull. So like that mask is. I love that mask. I'm gonna get it tattooed on me. It's happening. It's happening. But yeah, I loved that entrance. It's my favorite.
Yeah,
I have the figure.
Do you remember the lasers going across the arena above our head? Like those lasers, like it was cool. Cool visual. DJ, thoughts on this match?
It, like you said, second best. Great opening. I've always loved Triple H's entrances.
Yes.
Him, I mean, hell, even Taker, even most of the. But it was great for the story. I am so glad the night ended the way I hope most of us wanted, and they didn't do what I thought they were going to do, and screw him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great match, and he needed to win that match. If Triple H would have won, oh my god.
Oh man, I would like to live in the what if world where
Yeah.
Triple H pins Daniel Bryan. I'm curious how the fans would have reacted.
Oh man.
What was it? Was it if he won?
The winner was going to be in the triple threat match.
Okay. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I could not. I just remember I was trying.
We could have got an all Evolution main event for WrestleMania 30. We missed out on that. We also missed out on another Batista world title reign because of Daniel Bryan crybabies, as The Rock would say. But WWE did it to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They booked it in a way that just the crowd rallied around. Organically, the crowd rallied around Daniel Bryan, and the yes movement for this period of time was real.
Just like Kofi.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, I can't say for me.
What, you weren't about Kofi Mania?
I wasn't.
Oh man,
Really?
I wasn't.
Oh my. Oh, anyways.
Okay. No. So real fast. So why not? I'm just curious. Now that you said that.
I just wasn't into it. I don't know why.
But you were for Daniel?
I was for Daniel, I guess, because I see Kofi as more of a
tag
team character. Like,
yeah.
I guess I just didn't see him take him serious. Maybe that's just.
I'll say this though. You watched wrestling. You were more of weekly watcher of it then than you were during the time period of Kofi Kingston. You were watching it, but I don't think you were as diehard.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So I think that affects how you felt about that story.
Yeah, I can see that.
I get it. Now it's not world title, but what about Truth finally winning? Are you behind that?
I love Truth, but then he's a funny character too.
I know. I was just curious.
but I watched him when he was K-Quick, and I knew he was such a good, like, he was a really good wrestler. So, but man.
If he doesn't win that,
but I think he does it right. Like, you could be funny and be, I don't know, just something about R-Truth is a little bit different than Kofi. Like, you can get your funny moments with R-Truth, but he can also, like, he's how old? 50? something years old and can still perform.
He's younger than all of us. He's older than all of us, and he's younger than all of us.
I'm happy they did it for Kofi. They should have done it when it was him and Orton, though, and they didn't. Because at least at that time he wasn't tagged, he wasn't funny.
Got you.
Yeah.
But then again, the crowd wasn't behind him like they were at that time. He lost when he lost the Jamaican accent.
he lost you when he. That's what it was. It was the accent. No, just kidding.
Anyway, sorry to sidetrack. I was just curious.
No. Because R-Truth won, we got the greatest moment in Raw history in the last 10 years. Standing with his tag title between Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley.
That was amazing.
Oh man,
I need that on my wall somewhere.
And it's funny. We all laugh, but look at the things that he's done. All the stuff that that's just crazy. And yeah, he's a funny character, but look at the things he's done. How about
the longevity of his career is amazing.
Yep. Oh, but did you watch that thing where Cody Rhodes says he doesn't like R-Truth because when he was Stardust, he had like 50 matches with R-Truth and he lost to R-Truth a bunch of times. he has like this beef.
Like on the house shows?
Like house shows, yeah. He was like, I don't like him. It was something. I have to find it and I'll have to send it to you. And I just started laughing.
When you're walking around custom made from head to toe and alligators, you never age. Russ, your thoughts on this match? Triple H WrestleMania 30?
Full disclosure here, I fumbled the ball. I watched the wrong match.
You watched the main event?
Yeah. I looked at the list and I saw WrestleMania 30 and Daniel Bryan.
Gotcha.
And it didn't click in my mind. I just immediately went to the main event and watched the triple threat match.
Tell me about the triple threat match then.
My bad.
No, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
I feel like R-Truth when he went to Austria instead of Australia.
And then he says, I really didn't know the difference. I really didn't know the difference between Austria and Australia.
It was late and I looked at the list and I just saw WrestleMania 30 and Daniel Bryan's name and my mind just immediately went to the triple threat.
Yeah.
I should have looked and saw Triple H's name, but I didn't.
I would have done the same thing though.
No worries, Russ. What did you think about the triple threat match then?
But I loved it just as much this time as I did when I originally saw it. And like just that moment at the end where Daniel finally won it and got the two belts, and it was such a great moment, man.
For you?
Yeah, for me, it was because I was a huge Daniel Bryan fan back then.
Got you. Does the triple threat match beat the 6-man match?
Yes.
Oh man! All right.
Oh,
Russ got a match that ain't even on this list.
I forgot to say, I watched that match today, Triple H and Daniel Bryan, and I was watching the promo for it, and Ollie walked in. He loves to watch that promo.
Ollie, the Imagine Dragons monster. That's like he has watched that video so many times. He'll quote it while it's playing.
He loves that match. That's like Daniel Bryan is one of his favorite wrestlers because of that.
Yeah.
Because of that.
That's
promo.
awesome.
Nice.
So I was watching it and he walked in. He's like, his eyes got all excited. I was like, "Are you gonna watch the match with me?" He's like, "No, I'll watch this promo with you."
He likes the video package.
I was like, "Okay."
No problem, Wellbore. Have a good one. Bushwhacker. WrestleMania 40 ends with Cody Rhodes in the ring with his family, with all the wrestlers, with addressing Nick Khan, bringing out Bruce Pritchard, talking about Triple H. I think Triple H went out there. WrestleMania 30, they would not let Brie Bella go out to the ring and celebrate with Daniel Bryan.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
I did too.
Then again, Vince era, Triple H era.
Yep. Imagine like the moment that you could have had, like to see that she would have been in tears, no doubt. Probably more emotional than him. You killed an awesome moment. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. Nightwing says, my favorite memory of that WrestleMania was the picture of the two of you with the back of the guy's shirt that said, that's right. So we're standing like this. There's a guy in front of us. We turned around. The back of his shirt says, I was there, like this was. And yeah, I'll have to go find that picture. All right. Lady Prime, this match or Cena Brock?
When I was watching it, I was like, oh, this is going to be it. This is going to be the match. But it's going to be Brock and Cena.
Brock and Cena?
Yeah.
DJ, for you? He doesn't want to say it.
I know. I didn't want to either. Hurts my soul.
I want to say Daniel, but we kind of knew the moment was going to happen.
Yep.
The Brock I'm still going with because we did not expect the slaughter of Cena.
Got you.
Right.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Great match, though. Great
Russ,
story.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. Russ, I admire your courage for not, stepping outside the panel.
I've got a match leading right now that wasn't even on the card. So,
all right, next match on this list, they said Sami Zayn versus Adrian Neville was number 2, NXT Revolution for the NXT title. Sami Zayn gets the win. Sami Zayn's morals are tested. If you guys, if you didn't get to see the video package beforehand, there was a match they had before. Neville faked a knee injury. Sami Zayn's concerned. Neville rolls him up with a small package, gets the win. Sami Zayn puts his career on the line. Title versus career hurts this match, I think, because I hate when young guys have a title versus career match. You don't know. You know what's going to happen. Versus Shawn Michaels versus the career versus the streak. I didn't know what was going to happen because I didn't think Shawn was ready until it got closer and closer, and I was like, he's sleeping. It's not going to win.
Mm-hmm.
But I get you raise the stakes, you put the career on the line, but I think it hurts it because you kind of know where it's going to go. But the in-ring stuff is just wow. Sami Zayn retweeted my cousin.
Oh yeah.
My cousin tweeted the slap heard around the world, and Sami Zayn retweeted it because in the lead up to it, he slaps the taste out of Adrian Neville's mouth, setting the tone for this match. Lady Prime, thoughts on this match?
It was a really good match.
Whose static is that? Is that you, Russ?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's your mic.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I don't know.
Was it mine?
No, I think it was Russ's because when I muted him. You there? Are you still there, Russ?
Yeah. I was just trying to adjust the sometimes the left speaker on this one cuts out. That might be causing
now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gone now. Okay. You said
it was a really good match. Great, in-ring stuff. Oh, this is the match where we were talking about when
the crowd is out there. The wrestlers are out there celebrating at the end.
No. Well, yes, that part. But Neville's outside the ring. He had just got thrown out.
Yes. I rewound it while we were watching it. Okay, so one thing I hate in wrestling, and maybe I'm the only one, is when the wrestlers stand there and wait for the guy jumping to the outside. They're waiting there to catch him. Like I don't like it. But there's this moment in this match where I think Sami Zayn gets thrown out the ring. He looks. Neville takes off the bounce off the rope. Sami gets in the ring, throws Neville out. Neville looks. He goes in the ring while Sami's trying to do it. It's so like
He's on the ground.
When it finally happens, Zayn flips Neville to the outside and immediately goes to the other side, comes back, and dives outside. He doesn't wait for Neville to be ready. Now, I get it. This has to be talked about beforehand, and they've got to be on the same page, and they've got to trust each other. But you're muted, and I don't hear. I think it's Russ.
That must be.
Yeah.
I need a new headset, but
It's cutting out now. I mean, it's fine now. But he doesn't wait for Neville to get ready. So obviously it takes trust. But it's such a good moment because it doesn't take you out of it. Like they're on it, and it's good because so many times they stand there and wait, and the guy then goes and does the flip, and like I don't know. It was just it's a small little thing.
Just little things,
But little things can make or break stuff, and it was good, a good little moment. I'm glad you remembered that. It's good.
Yeah, it was.
Wellbore did tell you Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, thank you. I don't know where my child is.
He's at the movies. He went to see Planet of the Apes.
I'm just kidding. I learned last minute. I wasn't.
It was in there. It was in the middle of the stream. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like.
Yeah, I overheard.
All I hear is Ollie. Oh, he's here. I'll see you later. And I'm like, what?
I'm trying to prepare you for teenage years.
I hate it.
Russ, what did you think of this match?
oh man, I love this match. Once again, Sami Zayn and Neville both, man. Like Neville's another one of those guys that I don't feel like got a fair shake on the main roster when he went up. The stuff he could do in the ring was amazing, man.
He was going to be their Mighty Mouse character.
Yeah,
I remember hearing about that, and as soon as I heard those words come out of somebody's mouth, I knew that was a Vince McMahon thing.
That's why I said, what did they call him? And then you said the man.
He was the band that Gravity forgot, but they never called him Mighty Mouse. But it was implied that was his gimmick.
And then when he came out of the cave,
and then he wasn't Adrian Neville. He was just Neville.
Yeah,
had good matches.
He had good matches on the main roster, but he did not.
He
wasn't given the time like he was in NXT.
And going back to the beginning of your stream, you mentioned Enzo and Neville.
Yeah.
Neville did not like him whatsoever, man.
But yeah. That's what
with the whole cruiserweight and all that. Oh man.
Yeah.
But man, I loved Enzo so much. Like.
Yeah. No, he was great on the mic and everything. But
I get it. I mean, I probably wouldn't like the guy either if I knew him or got to meet him. I'd be like, I can't stand this guy.
I agreed to the point of it was a cruiserweight, so then you're bringing in some guy who's not a cruiserweight and all this other stuff. He's just a mic person. Like I get the heat with that he had. I understand.
Yeah. Great character though.
Yeah.
You don't find characters like that every day. So everybody said it's a great match. But everybody seemed to say it with some hesitation. DJ, your thoughts on this match?
The Neville Zayn?
Yeah.
I think it was great because you got to see the ending, of course. Zayn finally win it. Yes, I agree with your comment. The whole career versus title thing diminished it a bit.
No, sorry. I was just telling Russ. I'll put him on in a
good.
minute. I just muted you for now, Russ. It kind of gave it away.
It's not going to beat Cena and Lesnar, though.
That's why I said everybody's kind of hesitant when they answer it.
Yeah, where it's like, ugh.
Russ, because you're not afraid
to think outside the box.
Yeah.
Does this beat Cena versus Brock? No, I'm sorry. Well,
no, the triple threat.
Sorry. Russ, does this beat WrestleMania 30? Three-way. I'm sorry.
This is where I feel bad because the triple threat for Mania 30 wasn't even on the list. So should I?
You're fine.
Should I knock it off?
This technically did say those two matches, so it counts. But
you just picked the other one. So.
Yeah.
So does this beat the three-way at WrestleMania?
No.
Right. Russ is sticking with a match that wasn't even on the list. I love it. DJ, you already said.
When are we going to talk about AJ Styles or Yeah, AJ Styles versus James Ellsworth. James Ellsworth. Is that not on the list? Is that...
Oh man, I'll never.
Man. The only good part about that was Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
No chin music.
And you got me a James Ellsworth for Mother's Day.
Yes.
I can't remember what year, but he got me a James Ellsworth
Yeah.
figure for Mother's Day.
I couldn't believe they released a toy of it. I was like, this is the worst wrestling toy of all time, but I'm gonna get it.
For
All right.
What? Does it beat?
Does it beat Brock Cena?
No, it doesn't.
It does not for me either. So we only have one match left on this list. And like I said, there's other matches that other lists say. But this list in particular lists this as the best match of 2014. What are you gonna say, but?
Well, because it's hard to say because I'm trying to take in everything. I'm taking in the story, the in-ring, the wrestler themselves,
right? Okay.
Everything.
Like if we were judging this on work rate,
right?
We probably would have said Sami Zayn, Adrian Neville. I think we could all agree with that.
Right. So I'm just trying to stick to just the match.
Wrestling is more than what happens in the ring.
Yes.
Wrestling is more than what happens in the ring. It's everything. So that's why we've come to the conclusion that so far, Brock Lesnar versus John Cena is beating these other matches that some people would say there's no way. There's no way. Yeah.
Neville versus Zayn, to me, all day it'll beat Cena and Brock. But the way we're presenting it, it's Cena and Brock.
Gotcha. All right. So the match that this list says is the match of the year for 2014 is the Elimination Chamber the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, Shield versus the Wyatt family. Russ, you're up first.
Oh man, this is another one of those matches that I didn't really get an appreciation for until I rewatched it. Because I remember at the time I wasn't really a fan of the Wyatt family, so I was like all Shield back then.
Yeah.
But looking back now, it's like that match showed off so much like greatness in the Wyatt family and Luke Harper, Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, especially Luke Harper, man. Like I didn't appreciate how good he was in the ring.
Oh yeah.
When I was first seeing it happen. Like that guy could have been a champion, I think, for sure. I know he held the Intercontinental title for a little bit, but I feel like he could have went on and broke out on his own pretty easily if they had let him. But yeah, as for that match,
go ahead.
It was great.
At the start of the stream, we mentioned a great crowd can help make can help elevate a good match into a great match, into an all-timer. The start of this match begins, I think it's like 2 minutes of just this is awesome before they've even locked up. They're just staring at each other across the ring. So this is good stuff. This is good stuff.
I think it's because we didn't think it would happen originally.
No.
Yes. Because remember, like I said earlier, they were already teasing the breakup of the Shield. At this point, the seeds were being planted. And this is kind of what kind of segued in back into them being a force or a unit where they weren't going to break up. So yeah, he really wasn't expecting these two 3-man factions that are both being protected heavily. At least at this point, the Wyatt family was still being protected. Yeah.
Now, going off of this, so you said 2 minutes in. This is awesome, and this was what pay-per-view was this again?
Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Chamber. Again, this was one of the ones I didn't get to watch, but I'm going to because those 6-mans are great. So 2 minutes in, they're saying this is awesome. Compared to WrestleMania 20, the match isn't even started. Goldberg versus Lesnar.
That was a train wreck.
Everybody hates it because of everything. But anyway, it's just like polar opposites is what I was thinking right now. That's why.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's funny. Good point. That's a good point. That's where a good crowd destroyed a potentially good match.
Going back to this match, though, how many times can you say there's been a match where the bell hasn't rung or has just rung, and all you get is this is awesome? It doesn't happen. I mean, it's happening more, I think, lately, but it doesn't happen too often.
At least not at that point, right?
Yeah,
No.
This Is Awesome was kind of a new chance still back then.
Then after that, it went just was like overused. And now I feel like it's too much pressure on the wrestlers because if they do it before the matches even started, now it's like, okay, we have to like really perform. But I mean, hey, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe I can make a breaker, whatever.
At that time, I felt you didn't hear it too often because of the way the shows were just bad for a while. And like you said, NXT was so much better for a while. You know, I mean, some of them still are, but
Seth Rollins, MVP of this match, Russ.
Definitely.
He's just doing everything. And
it's so MVP of most matches.
Dean Ambrose, John Moxley still knew how to kind of work a punch. I mean, it's still not great, but it's definitely better than what he does now. Roman's being protected in this match, obviously. They did say it during this match, I think. No, it wasn't this one. It was the one previously, the Evolution one. I think it's Triple H and Roman locked up, and they said, and the two leaders of the factions are going at it. I never felt like Roman Reigns was the leader of the Shield.
I never felt that. I always thought it was always Seth and Dean.
Yeah.
I always felt Dean was the leader of the Shield because when they did the cam interviews, like the Dark Knight style, that Dean was usually the one talking first. He was also the one that was the singles wrestler where Roman and Seth were tag team champions at one point.
Mm-hmm. It took a long time for Roman to get good on the mic.
It did. He said very few things. Like
he said, "Suck, suck at that."
Yeah.
Bottom tier collector, say what you will about Moxley, but I love what he's doing these days. I just wish he would be a tough guy instead of play a tough guy.
Yeah. Good and bad. Like I agree with why he left. I get all that, but some of the stuff he's doing in AEW, I mean, come on.
Yeah. I feel like it's time for him to come back to WWE if he's gonna do it.
Like, I don't think that every match he has to be like
bloody.
He doesn't have to bleed. It doesn't have to be like some crazy stunt. Like, but I get that that's where he came from because I saw this one match that he did.
The CZW stuff or whatever it is, Combat Zone.
Yeah, there was some crazy stuff he would do, but like I just don't feel like it has to be every single match because that can just.
Yeah, and I think look at I don't know who said it, of course, but look at the Brett versus Stone Cold match.
Yeah,
they were not supposed to bleed in that match, and Brett told him he wanted to. It would make it better. It's moments.
Yeah.
Not everything needs to be a bloody massacre.
That moment lives in your head, and you just remember like Stone Cold's in agony. He's in the sharpshooter. Like
there's something I tell my son all the time: time and place. Time and place. It's like you gotta pick your moment so that it means something. And yeah.
And now look at it now. The Rock and Cody, didn't they just do one where he was bloody recently?
Oh,
because they're starting to do away with the whole PG and stuff. But time and place, like you said.
Yeah. Now I'll let Ollie watch wrestling.
now that it's dangerous and it's not PG.
It's controlled violence.
Bottom tier collector, CZW rules. MJF held the belt in that company.
I did not know that. I will have to.
Nah, ECW late 90s, pure magic. But you got to remember, ECW wasn't only about the chaos. There was some really good wrestling that happened in ECW. Yeah. That's where the Luchadors kind of was first introduced to an American audience.
See, and for me,
Stone Cold, we got.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep. No, I was agreeing with you.
But I don't know. It just, I think back to Rob Van Dam and why can't I think of his name? Yes, like yes, there was a chair in there, but it wasn't about bashing each other over the head with the chair. It was implemented in the move set. It wasn't. The hardcore stuff was there, and it's done in a way that's all you remember. But there was a lot of stuff that wasn't hardcore stuff in ECW.
Cruiserweights.
Good wrestling.
That's where they started. Good wrestling.
And so back to this idea, not everything has to be a train wreck. You got to keep it. You got to make those moments count. So it was good that we didn't get Bray Wyatt. I mean, we didn't get the Wyatt family and the Shield every week on Raw or teasing it. so that when they are standing opposite sides each other in this ring at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view,
because
that you have the crowd chanting, "This is awesome."
I think there was one Raw. I don't remember what was going on, how it came to be. I can't recall, but I believe the Wyatt family was in the ring and the Shield was around them.
That's kind of what started the.
And then it was just like the hype behind it. The crowd was like, "Oh, like here it is. This could go down." I do remember that. I'm like, wow, I never thought that like that match would happen. I thought they would just keep them separate. Because the Wyatt family was its own thing, and I couldn't see in my head how that would play out, the Wyatt family and the Shield.
Worked out real good. Luke Harper, like Russ was saying, phenomenal in this match. Phenomenal in this match.
Definitely.
Bray was good in this match. What I did notice though is that I was like, they haven't tagged Eric Rowan in. They were setting up a spot where he came in the ring the same time Roman came in the ring. They were setting it up, and it was good too. Do you remember who won, DJ?
Wasn't it the Wyatts?
It was the Wyatts. The Wyatts. I didn't want to spoil for you if you didn't remember.
It was a guess. Like I said, I haven't watched it since they happened, but I do plan on watching them tomorrow.
I forgot that the Wyatts won this match. I was kind of like shocked. It made sense that they won because once again, they're still teasing the breakup of the Shield. The Shield doesn't break up. So then when it does happen, it's even more of a like, oh, they finally did it.
Yeah. Because they had already beat everybody. Who was going to beat the Shield? At that time, it had to be the
Wyatts because the Wyatts, long-term booking, you're like, well, the Wyatts are still going to be around. The Shield's not. Plus, we're about to feed Bray Wyatt to John Cena, so we got to make him look strong.
Going back to that Wyatt conversation earlier, man, they did so many bad things with Wyatt.
Yep.
Not fully, but he could have been like an Undertaker level.
Yeah.
If
for
they
sure.
would have done it correctly.
Sure. We were watching it. I was like, they didn't protect him enough. They didn't protect that character enough.
No.
Wins and losses mean everything, but they do mean something.
Oh, I'll never forget Road Dogg when he started working backstage and he was like, wins and losses don't matter. And I'm like, they do matter. I don't know.
Were you going to say something, Russ?
I was thinking back then, back in 2014 when all this was going on, I hadn't become a big fan of the Wyatt family faction yet. It wasn't until like a little bit later where I started to become a fan. And then that's when they were just like, it seemed like Bray would cut these amazing promos and say all this scary stuff, but then he would just lose the match every time. And then he became the Fiend, and they turned around and they fed him to Goldberg like it was nothing after having him kick out of every finishing move under the sun like he was this supernatural monster.
Yeah.
And then he goes down to Goldberg like they just wasted that. It was frustrating seeing what they did to his character over and over again.
The last thing I really remember about Bray, I don't know that it was his last wrestling appearance, not his last appearance, but the Fiend, the Randy Orton Fiend match at WrestleMania. With the maggots in the ring and stuff, and that was I don't know.
Still don't understand that, man. They bring him back from being on fire and they make him lose. What the hell?
Yeah, no, Russ is talking about the second time they wrestled. For the first time, that was ridiculous too. I forgot about the roaches in the screen.
Yeah.
No, the second time, it wasn't even that long. But like you said, they brought him back from the fire and
Bliss turned on them. But I don't
know.
It was corny, but it was funny and good.
Yeah,
I don't know.
One of the worst things I think they did is when he had the cell match with Rollins, and the ref stopped the match. How you gonna stop a cell match?
Everybody was
that the one where it was all red?
Yeah, that's where
they
derailed
him with like a toolbox or bag or something like that.
they derailed Seth Rollins for a while there. Seth Rollins' career took a hit. He took him
that was like the worst decision I've ever seen in a ring. Like like that had to have been another Vince thing.
Well,
but I just don't think he liked Bray because he was also probably a big guy.
he
Because
wasn't.
I think that the whole thing with the little vignettes that Bray Wyatt would do when he was like in a muscle shirt with the headband, like and then it was like that pig or whatever. I think that was Vince trying to say you're bad,
Yeah.
Then we had guys like Dusty Rhodes,
but that wasn't Vince.
But that wasn't Vince then. Yeah.
Vince he ruined so much that could have been great.
Yeah. Can I help you?
Yep. Elias.
Oh, going back to the end of the Neville Sami Zayn match. So you got to see a bunch of wrestlers there in the back. She did point out that Elias was there.
Elias was there. FTR was there before they were FTR. They were
Revival.
The Revival, yes. I love them. Who else was in there? There was one guy I didn't know who it was.
Yeah, that one guy I didn't know who he was. But yeah, I just remember that you saw Elias.
Yeah.
Great character, Elias. Oh man. Anyways, something else ruined. All right, so we come down to the point of the show. I'm gonna go with let's save Russ for last. I'm gonna go first because I said it at the start of this list, and I really didn't think it was still gonna wind up here, but I think Brock Lesnar versus John Cena is my favorite match from 2014 as far as it relates to this list. As far as it relates to this list.
Brock Cena or Taker Lesnar?
No, Brock Cena. Brock Cena. Sorry. Taker Lesnar hurts because he got the concussion in the middle of that match.
Oh, yeah.
The rematch they had a few years later, they still had to protect Brock and couldn't let Taker get his win back. But when they sit up and Brock is just laughing, like it's a good moment. It's a really good moment.
What you said, small moments make or break.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, just when we originally re-looked at this list and I reread it and I hadn't watched Brock Lesnar and John Cena again, I was like, it's going to be Adrian Neville and Sami Zayn. It's going to be my pick. It's going to be my pick. And I watched them in the order of 10-1. And I probably shouldn't have did that. I probably should have did it as the year progressed. But I was watching Brock Cena. I was watching Brock Lesnar, John Cena, and just how the match played out, and just knowing how everything plays out later on.
Mm.
That is a very, very important match
mm-hmm.
for like a 10-year period because of the beast, because of what Lesnar became based upon that match. And that's why like I haven't been able to say any of these other matches, which once again, there's better work rate matches. There's better moments. Daniel Bryan beating Triple H is a better moment. But just the impact that this match had. And I go back to the idea. John Cena was the guy. We never saw Hulk Hogan get dominated like that in a match.
We wouldn't have even allowed it.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah.
We didn't see Steve. We didn't see Steve get dominated in a match like this. We didn't even see Rock. We didn't even see Rock get dominated in a match like this. It could have happened with the Goldberg Rock match. Didn't. But we saw Cena do it. And when I say this, when I'm talking about all this, it's with an appreciation even towards John Cena. Because like DJ was saying, he agreed to it. He had to be talked into it. But this was still your face of the company. And Brock Lesnar ran through him like nothing. Yeah, and Cena got his offense in. The rematch is good too because it was more Cena is on an even playing field. Like, okay, I know what's going to happen. But this match right here, it's my top match for 2014 as far as this list goes. But I can tell you, even probably without this list, I probably would put it high.
Brock and Cena, I'm going to go with because I also think Brock is the reason, kind of, for it why we're getting out of that PG era. Because for the real wrestling fans, up until that point, we were getting sugar coated and.
Is it because Brock went the hard way with Randy Orton?
I was about to bring that up too.
I mean that they let Brock do a lot of that stuff, and us fans were talking about it. You know, we were excited about it and waiting to see what else we could get with it. I'm just saying, like, I think Brock helped us get away from that PG. Like, we knew if Brock was going to wrestle, it was going to be
physicality.
Yeah.
I think if you thought if Brock was going to wrestle anybody other than Roman Reigns after the first time, because WrestleMania 30, Roman Reigns versus Brock is really, really good. It's really good. But I didn't like any of the rematches because I thought, I don't know.
Brock and Reigns?
Yeah. WrestleMania 31. So beating Roman Reigns took and still came back and fought. I was like, I would have been happy if Roman Reigns had won the title then.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go into the match thinking that, but the way the match played out, I was like, man, I really respect what they're doing with Roman Reigns. I really like it. I'm okay if he wins it tonight because he fought back from it. I didn't like any of the other matches.
Ollie will disagree.
Yeah,
Our son will disagree.
My son's favorite match of all time is Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, Last Man Standing, because the tractor comes out.
I was just gonna say that.
That where he lifts up the ring with it?
Yes. So if there is another Brock Lesnar, I say WrestleMania 31, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns was good. I forget. The SummerSlam match was good too, because it was different. But
he was different. I mean, look at his character.
Right. But peak Brock Lesnar though is Money in the Bank Brock Lesnar when he comes out jamming with the.
That was amazing.
Oh man, dude!
And dancing.
I didn't expect to see that from Brock Lesnar.
He changed so much, but look at his character, dude. He's still super powerful and funny, but like it's not the same. And he's doing his own promos. It's like no longer Lesnar is what all he has.
Yeah.
Ollie has
Bottom tier collector says Ollie has great taste in wrestling because because of the train wrecks.
He'll be like, hey, can we put on that can you put on my favorite match? Can you put that Reigns and Brock Lesnar match? And I'm like,
I was here one day when he watched it 3 times in a row. And I was like, dude, we could put on another. I was like, I could show you some other matches that are good. Like the other day he caught some of the Randy Orton Cactus Jack match from Backlash 2004.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I guarantee you he won't care about that. He still wants Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns because there was a tractor that came out. All right. Funny. Hey, what's up, Aaron? Good to see you, man. We're just talking wrestling. We're just hanging out talking wrestling. Just a bunch of guys and a gal. DJ, does this match beat Brock Lesnar, John Cena, SummerSlam 2014?
No.
And I know it's hard for you because you didn't rewatch it. And you can get with us the next time we're live, and you can say I changed my pick.
It's still going to be Cena. I mean, I have memories of the 2 6-man matches, and that's why I would save them because I knew they were better for certain things. But Cena and Lesnar, because of the impact, the story, and everything, the moment we didn't expect it. I have it here: 16 minutes and 5 seconds. Now imagine if that match was less than 5 minutes or something. Would we be talking about it?
No.
You know,
I don't know. Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Possible because a lot can happen in 5 minutes,
right?
But like, sure, it could have been less than 16 minutes. But I just looked it up because I was curious. I was like, it wasn't a squash because it wasn't one and done. He hit that first F5. I thought it was over.
I'll tell you what. Okay, if it had ended like that after that first F5, we probably would be talking about it, but we wouldn't say it was higher on this list.
Yeah, in a different light, we'd be talking about it.
Right. We would talk about how amazing it was, what a moment. We would be talking about what a moment it was. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't be talking about what a match it was.
Yeah, it's still the number one for 2014 from this list.
Nice. All right, here we go. We saved Super Russ for last because he's the only one with the balls. and I only say that jokingly.
He's a champion for a reason.
I started off the stream by saying this is going to be the number one match for me, and I kind of ruined all expectations, or at least I set expectations. Yeah, you're good. What you got, Russ?
Oh man,
right now, of WrestleMania 30, the 3-way match as the match of 2014. Does this match beat it?
This is probably the hardest one because rewatching that match again with Shield and the Wyatt family was so good.
Yeah.
But that moment with Daniel Bryan holding up the titles at the end of WrestleMania, that's got to be it for me. That's the biggest one for me for that year.
Nice. That's good. That's not a bad pick.
Even though it wasn't officially like on the list.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Because like I said at the other point, if you pull up 4 other lists, it's going to have different matches. Some of them will still be on there. They'll look similar. That match will be on there because of that moment. So don't worry. I will comment though that you picked a match that wasn't on the list and won. But all right. Can you guys think of any other matches from 2014 that possibly should have been on this list? I was talking with Lady Prime about it, and there's a few that I can remember. One that's kind of forgotten, and it's a really short match. It's Dean Ambrose against Seth Rollins from SummerSlam, and it's wild. It like goes into the crowd and stuff like that. I think it's under 10 minutes, or it's like an 11-minute match. It's really, really good. I've always looked at it as one of my favorite matches that took place that year.
Is that the one where he went for the curb stomps on like the cinder blocks?
It might be. I'm not. I wanted to rewatch it before we did the stream, and I didn't.
It's so hard for me to remember like what matches happened like what year.
It might
Oh,
be.
yeah.
I think he did it earlier that year, and that took Ambrose out, and then I think he tried it again in the match, if I remember correctly.
Right. That sounds about right. A bottom tier collector says, was that when Daniel Bryan was doing the Billy Goat shtick? I think I saw that 3-way in real time, Russ. It was during the height of the Yes movement. That's all I can say. It's WrestleMania 30, the first WrestleMania on the network. It was a way to start the network era. Undertaker loses, and Daniel Bryan, the people's choice, gets the belt. There's another match that took place in 2014 that I think could possibly be on this list. It's Luke Harper versus Dolph Ziggler at the TLC. They have a ladder match for the Intercontinental title.
Oh yeah.
It's a really good match. You kind of brought it up, Russ. It's a really good match. And then the last one I thought of that could be on this list takes place at Survivor Series. It's a 5-on-5 match. It's the Team Authority versus Team Cena. It's the 5-way. I mean, it's the Survivor Series, elimination match. I can't remember what the stipulation was. I don't know if it's the Authority won, John Cena had to retire, if John Cena's team won, the Authority had to go away, I think is what it is. This is where Sting makes his appearance.
Yes.
Oh,
Dolph Ziggler was the star of that match.
Say it again.
Wasn't it when Dolph Ziggler was the star finish of the match?
He was the sole survivor.
Yeah.
And they did absolutely nothing with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was like 2 weeks later, the Authority came back.
Yeah. 2 weeks later, the Authority came back. Dolph Ziggler, instead of being moved into this main event spot, I don't want to say relegated to the IC title because, but the IC title didn't mean then what it means now. Didn't mean what it meant in the 90s.
Oh.
It was
a long ass stipulation. Holy crap.
Go ahead.
Since Team Authority would lose, Triple H was fired as COO, Kane was fired as director, Stephanie was fired. If Cena's team lost, Cena would still be having a job, but his teammates would all be fired.
Ah, there you go. That's right. And so that was done so that nobody wanted to be on his team. Can you tell me the rosters on that team? Well, hold on 1 second. Let me. It was Cena, Dolph Ziggler, Big Show, Eric Rowan. Was it Ryback?
Feed me more. Yeah.
It was? Okay. And then the Team Authority was Mark Henry, Luke Harper, Seth Rollins, Kane, and I don't know the fifth one. It wasn't Triple H. Rusev. Okay.
Yep. With Jamie Noble, Joey Mercury, Lana, Stephanie, and Triple H all there.
Yeah. That match has a really good beginning of it. It starts off with this Big Show KO punching Mark Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Good start to that match. in like the first like 30 seconds. And then it has Big Show turning on his team.
Yeah.
I think
Big Show. I think he had the most face heel turns.
Oh
ever.
man, people joke about it all the time.
yeah.
So some of them worked, some of them didn't, but he.
That's where it felt like every week he was flipping, man.
Mhm.
I just got an alert on my phone. Big Show has turned heel. So just
Captain Say No shows no mercy.
I just rewatched that movie like a couple weeks ago.
Bottom Tier Collector says, okay, I did see that. If that's when Taker lost, I'll never forget that dude's meme face in the crowd. Yeah, it was same show. Bottom tier, same show. He says Rusev, Kane, and Mark Henry. That's stout. Yeah, there was a lot of muscle on that team. A lot of size. Oh man.
Yeah, but again, they did nothing with him winning.
Yeah,
and being the sole survivor.
Yep, I thought it was so cool. I mean, I remember being excited that Dolph was the sole survivor. I was like, okay, finally, here we go. And it was just more of the same. Do you remember when Dolph quit on SmackDown or left SmackDown, and then he was entrant number 30 in the Royal Rumble, but like a few weeks later?
Yeah.
It was supposed to be like big comeback and
Did
nothing again. Like Dolph Ziggler had the most start stops in a career that I've ever seen.
And there was a point where I thought he was going to leave, go do the New Japan thing for a while. I mean, he's doing it now, but I thought he would have done it a lot sooner.
He's
Bottom Tier Collector. I was never excited about Dolph. Dolph could sell like nobody that was around him in the business at the time. He was my cousin's favorite wrestler. My cousin sold me on Dolph. I started buying into Dolph, and
he has a great drop kick.
Yeah.
Just
he's in TNA now.
Nothing. Yeah. Did he lose their title?
He just
to Moose. Well, he was their champ, right?
No, I think he went against Moose and lost, and then Hardy came back, as far as I remember.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I think he won the AAA championship.
Yeah,
yes,
that's what it was.
Yes, he did. So, I don't know. Maybe he wants to do what.
I'm still surprised he's no longer with WWE after being there so freaking long.
Yeah, he should have left before that. But
yes, I agree. But still, like one of the people who you think is always going to be there, kind of.
Right. Like a Kofi.
Yeah.
Like a Kofi, yeah.
Or the Miz.
Or the Miz. Well, thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate it. Going through this list was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, but it was fun.
It was a fun time, man.
Thank you for having me for the first time.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm glad you could come on. I'm going to tell you what I told Russ. Like, this stream is just like a stream for me to talk wrestling. Now, I told Russ, I was like, I don't care if no one is in the chat. Like, it's cool just to be able to talk wrestling with people that, you don't have that everywhere you go.
That get it.
Yeah.
Fans of it that have different perspectives.
Right. Man, the dog, I tell you, this dog thinks she's a cat. Bottom Tier Collector says, I want to watch TNA, but I don't know how to watch it. I don't even remember what channel it's on anymore.
I don't know.
Online maybe? I don't.
It went from Destination America to the preview channel or whatever it was at the time to Ion, which it all depends on if your cable company carries it.
I watch old TNA on
Pluto TV. You can you get your free TV from Pluto. They have a TNA channel and you can just watch all this old stuff. And I'm watching it and I'm like, man, this is good. I wish I would have watched it back then.
They have their own streaming thing, TNA Plus, $10 a month.
Is that the only place that their show is on?
For the first time ever, pay-per-views are available to purchase starting this past January. Also, watch.tnawrestling.com, it says, for plans. That's what it says.
Wow.
I know they're not as big as they once was.
Right. You see the ratings they had at the time, they're even higher than current Raw ratings. Like, there was a time period where they were a viable number two company. So bottom tier, hopefully Hopefully you can come on as well, bottom tier. You can share your terrible thoughts about CZW. And no, I'm just kidding.
Says Access TV, YouTube, Impact are the two places plus the streaming site.
Wow, oh man, they're finally putting out, because they had a really really bad period where they were doing terrible, and now I hear good things about the show. It's just nobody can watch it.
Yep.
AEW better watch out, because that could be them one day. I don't want it to be the case, but I don't know.
The WCW, ECW Part 2 going out.
Yep. And what a bad time to be having trouble with attendance and with ratings while WWE is just on such a winning streak. It's but good for the WWE, it's
yeah, of course.
Did
you see that Backlash though was its lowest, they said, in so long?
Say that again?
Backlash was its lowest record in so long, they said. Lowest all-time record or something like that in recent history.
Wow.
I could be. I mean, because it was at like 1:00 in the evening or something over here.
Oh, because it was in France.
Oh, yeah. I enjoy Blood and Carnage, but that WrestleMania series opened me up to technical wrestling. Yeah, bottom tier. I'm looking forward to you going back and finishing that. And I'm curious if you're going to go past, because I know your original plan was to just cover WrestleMania 1 through 10. I'm curious if you'll attempt to watch WrestleMania 11. Cover WrestleMania 13. There's some stinkers in there, but you've gone through the worst ones already, I think. Russ.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Seeking Superman? Sorry. Glenn, what is up, man? Hope you're doing well. Glenn is a huge Superman fan. Good stuff. I'll ask you this, Glenn, Seeking Superman. Are you going to get the triangle number omnibus that they're going to be releasing soon? Russ, are you going to get that?
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, so it's going to be the start. It's going to be the few issues before the start of the triangle era. I think it's the storyline leading into the triangle era, and they're going to do the omnibus. And I want it because it'll be a cool looking piece on my bookshelf.
Yeah,
but I still will read the floppies. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never really collected omnibuses. I've got one because I found it at Ollie's discount store for like $20.
Yeah, jump on that for sure.
I've never actually tried to collect them because just the price of them.
So I looked on discountcomicbookservice.com and they have it priced at $75. Whereas I think
that's cheaper than usually, because I think it's up to like 150 now. I think
right.
Now or something.
That's why I mentioned this site. So
yeah,
if you're looking to possibly get it, that's a possible place.
Yeah, that sounds like the best deal you're probably going to get.
Yeah. Russ, what would you like to talk about in 2 weeks? 2 weeks, we'll meet up again.
Oh man.
Seeking Superman's going to Raw this coming Monday. Awesome.
Oh, nice.
Have fun. I haven't been to a Raw since 2014. We went to the Daniel Bryan beatdown Raw. That was the build up for building up for WrestleMania 30. Yeah.
The last one I was at was. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Bottom tier collector. I tend to double dip, collect the floppies, and then get the omnibus to use and abuse. See, I think I'm the opposite. I want my omnibus to look nice and my floppies to. I'm a dollar book collector, so my floppies are usually beat up already. What were you gonna say, DJ?
The last Raw I went to was the Raw before the Cali Mania because they had it here in Arizona. Nice. So got to see Rollins and Cody and everything like that. Thinking Cody's gonna win, but no.
WrestleMania announced for Las Vegas. Anybody going?
I'd want to, but
I told her we have a year to put it together. I told her and my cousin we've got a year. So
all I know is they better have fixed that arena. SummerSlam was so terrible.
Really?
Because I got to go to the SummerSlam one. Their what is it? The Wi-Fi was gone within the first 5 minutes of the show.
Oh.
Nobody could use credit or debit, and it's a credit or debit facility only.
Oh.
Wow.
A bunch of people were pissed off.
So no, like
Great show, but the facility, oh my god.
So me and my cousin went to WrestleMania 26 in Phoenix, and the internet was down there,
Oh.
and so the
But
lines were
they
so
also
long.
accepted cash, didn't they, at that time?
Yeah, they still accepted cash.
Yeah, Vegas did not. It's credit debit only, so people couldn't buy shit.
Well, I was gonna say because we didn't want to wait in the long lines because they were waiting still to try to get the their purchases, and I wanted the I Was There WrestleMania shirt, and we didn't get to get it. So we ordered shirts. We ordered the official WrestleMania shirt, but it doesn't say I was there on it. And so I've been on eBay looking at it, and
I had to do the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one that's like faded. There's one that's oversized. I'm gonna eventually buy one because I want the I Was There shirt.
I was so pissed at myself when I didn't do the Royal Rumble they had out here. I didn't buy that shirt, and I had to try and find it elsewhere. It's same thing.
I didn't buy the 2007 Royal Rumble. My cousin did, and I regret it. And I haven't found it at a price I'm willing to pay.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if they had a 1997 Royal Rumble, which I went to. We didn't buy any shirts that trip because we were kids. We didn't have money like we do now. What's up, OTG? Taku Tour Guide. Glenn says he is going to watch WrestleMania on his couch in front of his TV. That's probably not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Just because
inflation
and every other cost that goes with it. But I want to go to another WrestleMania. So
hell, I want to go to my first one. Hey, no, I mean obviously that's a dream, but I'm so thankful. Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, not two notches on the belt.
Yeah, I'll say this: the last Royal Rumble I went to was my least favorite. We went in 2017, but the Royal Rumbles I went to in 1997 and 2007, those were probably my favorite pay-per-views just because they were fun.
Because you weren't
They were fun because the Royal Rumble is just a fun event,
Yeah.
Man, my Rumble sucked.
Which one did you go to?
The one here in Phoenix, the year before COVID, or 2019.
Hold on, let me.
Becky won the women's, then Rollins won the men. No, yes, no.
That one was bad.
I don't know. I felt, I don't know. Rumble, all these surprises. We had Jeff Jarrett as number 2.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, see, they backed themselves into a corner by having all these awesome surprises and doing them year after year, and then when they don't have a surprise, everybody gets disappointed.
Yeah.
Bottom tier collector. I forget what it's called, but I'd love to go to that AEW New Japan crossover show they do. It's called Forbidden Door.
Forbidden Door, yeah, nice.
Forbidden Door. Those would be cool. The only issue with it is a lot of those are just matches put together and they don't have the story behind it. But a lot of that's AEW.
Like dream matches or great matchups or.
Seeking Superman. I went to Bound for Glory in 2007 or 8 when they were in Atlanta. I don't remember. But other than that, I was at the original big event, Starrcade in 83. Dude, that is awesome.
Wow.
That's some history right there. Bottom tier, I hate when they dust off 60-year-old guys, aren't winning the Royal Rumble.
I can agree, but sometimes those moments, depending on who it is.
Yeah. Like when Diesel came out after so many years. Yeah, I was like, oh man, that's awesome. Just to see him in his Diesel gear again, I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
But, all right, so how about this? 2 weeks from now, King and Queen of the Ring.
Is that the date happens?
May 25th, yeah.
Oh man,
Saudi Arabia.
But it'll be a morning show, right?
I'm pretty sure it's morning, yeah.
Europe.
Yeah, it'll be another one of those 6 a.m. pay-per-views, I think.
I forget when. Let's see. It is suppose countdown 11 noon start time.
Bottom tier says LA Knight better win.
You heard me on the time, right?
What's that?
Did you hear me say the time?
Oh, you said like 11?
11 countdown, noon start time.
Was that like a 4 or 5 hour pay-per-view? 1 year it was like 6 hours.
Shit. Depends on them. Hell, so Backlash was only 2 hours and 50 minutes.
I know. Oh, and I wanted to say this about Backlash because something happened at Backlash that hasn't happened in a long forever. Dave Meltzer gave AJ Styles his first WWE 5-star match.
I saw that. I was like, what the hell?
I didn't hear about that.
What? I have to go back and watch it.
That crowd, man. Oh my God. That was awesome.
Yes. The crowd was awesome. Was that a 5-star match though?
No.
I didn't think so.
No. They've both had better matches.
Yes. AJ Styles against John Cena at the 2017 Royal Rumble. I thought if you're going to give AJ Styles a 5-star match, that was that one.
I think a lot of that had to have been the crowd, the hype of the crowd made everything seem bigger.
Yeah. Dude,
the intro says the Backlash crowd was
the camera shaking on AJ when the introductions, man.
Like, maybe that's what AEW needs to do, man. They need to fly in a French crowd for their shows.
They need to get crowds first.
Yeah.
We'll see. Will they fill out Wembley Stadium again? Can they do it 2 times? They did it the one time, and that was like an amazing show. Can they do it again? I don't know.
Well, here's a question for you. Now that Vince McMahon is completely out of WWE, how long do you think it'll be before he shows up on AEW and announces that he bought the company?
If he was younger, maybe. But now, oh my gosh.
Just do it all over again.
Oh, man.
Have Shane come out and say, no, I bought the company.
Talk about a fucking story and swerve that led to nowhere.
Yeah, for real.
He's back.
Ollie's alive.
Ali.
Bottom tier collect. I've made a conscious effort to watch Meltzer 5-star matches. I don't agree with him.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah. Did you tell him about the AJ Styles?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about right now. Would it have been 7 stars if it was in the Tokyo Dome? I don't know, but I'm gonna rewatch it because I watched it, but I was doing other stuff at the same time because we were cleaning and whatnot. Yeah. And we had it playing. But I didn't think it was a 5-star match.
No, it was good. It could have been so much better, I felt.
Yeah. I don't know.
Especially the story was there. They even told you at the beginning. AJ Styles fought freaking Dusty Rhodes.
So
they were talking about that at the beginning of the match. I don't know. It just didn't feel like this. I don't know. Maybe the story was better than the match. Is what it felt like. The match could have been so much better.
But AJ should have had, like I said, John Cena, AJ Styles. Whether it's, you think it's a SummerSlam at 2016 or Royal Rumble 2017, I thought those were 5-star matches. Mm-hmm. I thought his match when he had with Roman Reigns. 2016 Roman Reigns world champion. I don't know if it was the no DQ match or whatever one it was. I thought that was one of 2016's best matches. I don't see why that was not a 5-star, but yeah. Bottom tier. I want to get my hands on Omega. No, because he put Otaku, and I'm thinking of Otaku tour guide. I want to get my hands on the Omega Okada trilogy. I can't find a way to watch it. When I saw Omega Okada, it was at it was on YouTube. So sign up for New Japan World.
There was a way you could
New Japan World.
YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I watched it, and that's the same way I watched the Cody Goldust match, Dustin match, after it had appeared on pay-per-view. That's the way I saw it. And I want to buy that DVD, but it's out of print now. So you're saying that you want to in 2 weeks we'll watch the show and just talk about it afterwards?
Oh no, I was just saying how about discussing it and stuff like that. But I unfortunately don't know when I'm working. I was lucky to be here today.
Oh, got you. Okay. We'll probably talk about it a little bit. I was thinking about pitching the 1996 Bash at the Beach.
Oh, yeah. We want to see you.
I would be down to rewatch that again.
All right.
Is that New World Order? Is that something else?
Yeah, that's from the New World Order. 1996 is such an important year for wrestling because you have Stone Cold Steve Austin and you have the New World Order, which Stone Cold Steve Austin's promo, the 316, happens 2 weeks before the NWO happens. So if the NWO doesn't happen, how much quicker does Stone Cold Steve Austin rise to the top and become the biggest thing in wrestling, ever or since Hogan?
I
But
don't think I realized it was that close together.
But then 2 weeks later is the New World Order. It's just insane. It's not even 1996. It's the summer of 1996.
Mm-hmm.
Is probably that 2 week period is probably at least for wrestling today, it's probably the most important 2 week period. Its effects are still felt today because people can still tell you who the NWO are and who Stone Cold is.
Shit. Okay, so I do open that day, but I won't be able to watch the pay-per-view. So
so we won't spoil it for you. Well, if you can't come on because you need to watch the show, that's fine. But if you're here, we'll be talking about the Bash at the Beach 1996. Russ, take those posters down. Put some Hulk Hogan posters up.
Go buy your Hulk Hogan shirt.
So we can see you relive that moment of betrayal. Dude, that is awesome.
Oh,
that is something I have thought about doing, going back and collecting all the WWF magazines.
This is the only one I have left that I got from my grandfather.
Oh man, that's
awesome.
Oh,
yep.
Beautiful.
That and some of the signs that I got from my uncle.
Oh man,
because he went to a bunch of cons and got autographs because he knew I was a fan.
That's nice. That's sweet.
That's a very, very important autograph there.
That's awesome.
How about no one watches it until later that night and we all do a live viewing? The only issue with that is if you have any audio pop on, they'll flag your channel.
Yeah.
Backstage viewing.
Oh.
You can do a backstage viewing.
That's
because it won't be live.
That's.
Yep.
Is that what you did for Mania?
No, I thought about it.
I remember you were talking about it, but
yeah, I thought about it, but no.
Yeah.
Booker T. They always knock WCW for not making stars, but they made DDP and they made Booker T, two of my all-time favorites. So I don't understand the knock on WCW for that. Sable?
Yeah.
You like that one? You like that one?
So I've met a couple nonchalantly over the years because I used to work parking events for like arenas and stuff like that. So I saw Rey Mysterio without his mask. The only one I've ever met in person live.
Is that DDP?
Yep, and I cherish the moment.
Oh, awesome, man.
Has me in the headlock for the Diamond Cutter. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
I can't remember what year. Man, he's freaking tall.
Yeah, he is a tall guy.
DDP is like one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, it was Sting and DDP at that time.
Nice
for me.
Nice. Bottom Two Collector, my Sabu Terry Funk death match isn't flagged. Right, that's what I'm talking about. But they'll randomly
it's like a hit or miss. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Just like people who do the sports, people who do other type of UFC, boxing,
Yeah. So,
but but you could do the backstage because technically it won't be live.
What time? It would be the same time, 6 o'clock.
Oh, for me, yeah, I get off at 4 o'clock that day. So
yeah, and I was saying because it's kind of about the time you did today. It's 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, if it's gonna work for everybody, then by all means, yeah. If not,
I don't mind watching it like that, and I don't mind not having a live stream in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know for Mania, you guys had talked about it, so I tried to listen to Russ and comment as we were watching it that day.
I don't mind hanging out and doing a backstage stream.
Yeah, that's cool with me.
Yeah.
Glenn, I'm cool. We'll like I said, we won't go live, but just watch it as fans.
Yeah.
We'll talk trash about the wrestlers we don't like together.
Yeah.
We're wrestling snobs.
Because we're elitists. We're wrestling elitists.
Since it's not live, you can watch me eat like a cheeseburger or something while I'm watching the show.
Russ is wanting the stream to end. He's like, I got to get a meal in. I was supposed to cook steaks after this.
I've been slowly trying to eat. I've been slowly trying to eat.
You just got off work, man. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I was happy. Dude, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
It's 6 o'clock Central Time. I'm not sure where you're at, Glenn, but we do 6 o'clock Central Time. It's 7 for Russ, 4 for
4 for me is So I get off at 4, so I about 4:30, 4:45 I'd be here.
Yeah.
Well, I could always have my wife turn on the computer earlier.
Well, no. Well, yeah, I was just saying we could meet up and then just prep until you're here, and we can just talk about whatever.
That's what took forever is my computer wouldn't start today.
Bottom tier collector. I'd enjoy wrestling more if I give up my elitism.
I know, it's so hard. Oh.
The hardest thing, and because we all do it, we all want to do it
in movies, in
movies and all that, especially. But because we all played with toys, we booked our own shows.
Yeah,
we all want to book the shows we're watching instead of just enjoying the shows. It'll be around 7, so we can put it on there.
We don't give it a shot.
We don't give the storyline a shot because it's not going the way we think it should, and I don't know. So I even got into it a little bit this year because I was like, oh, they're doing Rock and Roman, like this would have been a cool main event. Would have been cool to see The Rock, but we all wanted Cody, and it's like I wouldn't have done it like this, and it all worked out in the end. And I don't know. It's hard. It's hard not to be the.
Did you see what we're getting? Cody versus Logan Paul.
I'm all about Logan Paul.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's proven it. He's proven it to me.
He's great on the mic. He has a presence like so many guys need. He has the presence.
He's healing it up perfectly, it seems.
For everybody to tell me they can't stand him and they hate him, he's a heel. You're not supposed to like him. You're not supposed to like him. And you can think he's a terrible human being outside of wrestling, whatever. That's fine. I get that. But we're talking
for a celebrity coming in.
Yes.
Him, and even though it's not as frequent, Bad Bunny, those two have opened up my eyes for celebrities.
Yeah. The only other celebrity I thought was really good was the Green Arrow. What's his name?
Yeah, Mark.
Stephen Amell.
Stephen Amell. Yeah,
that was great too. Yeah,
and he had that match with Christopher Daniels at the All In or whatever it was.
Oh
yeah.
He wasn't afraid to go through a table. So
I know. I just want to hate on Logan Paul, but I get it. I see it.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about it being a champion versus champion match is I just feel like they're going to have to end it in a DQ because they're not going to put the world title on Paul and they're not going to make Cody it's a champion versus champion.
Oh, okay. I thought it was champion versus champion, but I thought the world title was the only thing on the line.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure they said both were on the line, which it makes me feel like they're just going to have to end it in a DQ or something. It's probably going to be a great match, but I feel like.
Speaking of DQ, did you guys see that this was the first main event finish where it didn't end in a DQ in years? Because all the Roman matches ended in DQs.
Oh yeah,
that was one of the facts that they put, or one of the stats that they put.
One of the
first time it was defended clean and
Superman says, "Do you all know who Derek is from TikTok?" I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't.
Is that the kid that has the Down syndrome that goes to all the events and stuff?
The one the one that threw a fit when they turned on Sami Zayn at the Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
I think that's who it is.
I wonder.
Yes.
Yes.
I thought so.
That was an amazing moment. Like I wish I could be that kind of fan. Like
he was so mad at Chad Gable
that I still got lost in it. Yeah. All right, so then no live stream 2 weeks because we'll be doing the backstage stream, Russ. But we will do the Bash at the Beach at some point because I just want to talk about the show and that.
Definitely, we'll keep the Bash on the Beach on the burner for next.
I will not be happy if I do not see tears that night, Russ.
you would have from younger me.
I want to.
Russ is right. Title versus title, it says.
Wow. I want to start the stream with red and yellow on and then end it with black and white. So He was at Raw Monday, got a high five from Logan Paul, and Logan Paul comment, "I still have not washed my hand. It was a pleasure." Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
Logan earned major respect from that comment. Yeah, for sure. Like I said, like if you can think Logan Paul's whatever outside of wrestling, but he has been nothing but good for wrestling.
Yeah, I mean his in-ring work has been great.
Oh yeah.
I can't hate on that.
Nope, you cannot.
You're what if fanboy. You're what if. What if Hogan never went to WCW? What if he got what he wanted and turned heel for WWF?
Oh man.
Because I
When
know
would you-
he kept trying to tell Vince he needed to turn heel, but Vince didn't want it.
When would you have turned him heel?
I know that's the thing.
If I could book it, oh my! If I could book it, Warrior doesn't lose the title to Savage at the Royal Rumble in 1991. Instead, Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior rematch WrestleMania 7, but Hogan is the Iraqi sympathizer.
Oh shit!
Man,
Oh man, imagine if we had that stuff nowadays. So many people. Oh my god!
We'd be
Like that would not fly today.
Oh no.
so many things.
There's
So
wrestling.
many things.
Wrestling loses something because everybody's so worried about PC and everything, but it's like these guys are supposed to be bad guys. You don't care if a bad guy kills somebody on a movie. Like I get it.
Yeah.
There's still a little bit of realism in wrestling, but let him be a bad guy.
oh yeah,
Let the-
that's crazy now, man. Because I remember with the lead up to Mania, Roman Reigns said something about Seth Rollins being a crossdresser, and he almost got canceled. He almost got canceled for saying.
Yeah.
they're gonna have to like
It'll
fire
be
Roman Reigns
removed
before
from
WrestleMania.
Peacock will scrub it.
Yeah.
Make sure it stays him.
Bottom tier says there's no Stone Cold if Hogan goes heel, in my opinion.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah, if he had stayed with WWF, there would have been so many guys that didn't get a chance.
Oh yeah.
I don't know a better time to turn Hogan heel. I mean, if you were going to make the biggest impact, I don't think that was the time though. Like he was still making money, but
see, but the same thing kind of goes for Cena. Never turned heel, and it was basically that same thing.
Cena could have been the biggest star in the world if he would have turned heel, the biggest star in the world. But I say that on one hand, but then on the other hand, like
I get it, I understand.
Money
John Cena and his Make-A-Wish stuff, like
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Advertisement stuff like that.
When John Cena did the Rock Cena 24/7 thing, they did the little documentary behind the scenes, and it's like showing Cena doing all the
Make-A-Wishes.
I was like, dude, how you can't turn him? Like,
yeah, like I think you can have that argument all day. Turn Cena heel, and as soon as you say Make-A-Wish, that's where you kind of stop it.
Like, how can I take that away from those kids? And then like, oh man.
But it would just
I'm kind of tearing up right now.
He would lose.
I'm kind of tearing up right now because there's a thing where like this kid and his mom that like Cena met and like gave him inspiration or whatever, and like they're telling Cena how much he did, and like Cena's like tears in his eyes talking to the kid like, no man, you motivate me. And I'm like, dang it, Cena, dude, like I don't want to, I want to boo you right now, but like
I want to say you suck. Cena sucks.
Yes, I'll say this, and me and my cousin have talked about it. It's like in college football, I hated Florida State so much, and when Florida State was bad, I wanted them back because I wanted to hate them. I wanted to root against them. Or it's like Michael Jordan's Bulls. Like I was not a Michael Jordan fan. I would love to have him playing now and being the Bulls. I would love to have the evil empire to hate. I would love for John Cena to be back as a full-time guy, just so I could be in the crowd chanting Cena sucks.
But now when he sees Cena, he's like a little kid, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so glad to see him."
Yep. No, I'm not glad to see him.
Whatever. Well, you just don't like to see that ball spot.
I don't want to see that ball spot. I don't want to see that. I want to be able to. Thugonomics is greater than any incarnation of Cena. Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
man, he was so close to being fired.
Thugonomics and Peacemaker are the only version of Cena I accept. I'm that way with Miami now. I miss the U dominating college football. Yeah, like like it's good to have the evil empire, and even though I hated it, Cena did this and Cena did that. It was good to. It made for great matches when you rooted against him. There were some great opportunities, and so. But yeah, alrighty. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end this because I gotta go cook, make those steaks. I gotta let you finish your meal. Did you even get to take a shower after work? Because when I get home from work, I have to shower because I gotta wash the ick of work off.
No, I'll do it in a little bit.
But no, man, it's awesome to have you on stream, dude. I'm glad we finally got to link up, dude. I know we've been talking about it since I don't know the stream we did randomly talking about cards.
I think I found you guys from Robin or Neil originally, of course. So hi to Robin and Neil. Shout out to them. And you guys were showing your cards that day, and I was in the chat before I went to work.
Yeah, there you go. And so I think we've been trying to link up for at least 2 or 3 months now because I know it was before Mania.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think it was slightly before Mania. So thank you guys. Yeah, and obviously if it works out and I could be here then awesome.
Yeah, man. Like I said, this is the stream that if no one watches, that it is what it is. If somebody wants to watch, it's fine too. But if I get to talk wrestling with people, that's what it's for.
And it's hard for me to find people that I can talk wrestling with.
Well, like most of the girls, wrestling's dumb. Wrestling's this.
Or it's, he's hot.
Yeah, that's how women.
Like, he's hot. He's hot. And I'm like,
I got a Louisiana friend and a Missouri friend that I do it with all the time now, ever since my grandfather passed away. I had the 1 year with my wife when Rhonda was there, and then she left. And then my wife left. And she don't really. She'll watch occasionally here and there if I have one of the women's matches or something on. But that year she was watching weekly with me. I'm still trying to go shower.
Yeah. So Glenn sent me this picture. This is my prized autograph acquired at a TNA house show back in the day. It's Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, and AJ Styles.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was
all autographed by the three of them.
They had fantastic matches.
That's one of AJ Styles' 2 5-star matches. the one from TNA that he got in that 3-way, and then apparently the one versus Cody Rhodes the other day. So, Lynn says my wife tried to watch it, did it for her. Did it for her.
Oh, got it.
Hi. Is Ollie texting from your? Oh, he's texting from the tablet.
What did he say?
Ollie.
Hi, it's Ollie. Hi, Ollie.
Ollie, I'm suing you. That's fraud.
Identity theft is a crime.
Ollie, you're still banned from YouTube. What are you doing?
That's gimmick infringement.
Yeah. You stole my identity.
But yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Anybody who did stick around and watch, thank you guys. 2 years. Oh, she watched for 2 years and then quit. We got together because of wrestling. We talked to wrestling, and that's how it started. Oh, no worries, Glenn. No worries. I get it. It happens. Like one of the first conversations we had was about the Stone Cold Steve Austin being embalmed by the Undertaker, because that was some of the first Raws you watched.
Oh yeah.
And so that's how it started.
I made fun of my brother for watching wrestling, and then I really took a chance to watch it, and I saw the Undertaker, and I was like, and then I started watching it. My brother dipped out. He was like, "Oh, my sister thinks it's cool. It's time for me to go." And then I went all in.
You're right at all. Nice. But yeah, man. So appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Great chat.
It was awesome, man.
And nice meeting you too, of course, Russ.
It was awesome, man.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't
cool to be on stream with you.
My bad.
he does the same thing. He never introduces me.
I don't. I forget. I think everybody knows.
Well, I knew it from the WrestleMania stream I tried to do.
Yeah, from
that's
the
right.
chat.
You were in the chat. That's right. So awesome. Well, cool, guys. Like I said, awesome talking wrestling. I still would love for Bottom Tier Collector to come on here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And,
the more the merrier.
Yeah. We'll all
like
interrupt
you said,
each other.
We'll try and get back in 2 weeks, like you said, for the show.
Yeah. So we'll be backstage doing that one.
How many? Do you have the free one or the paid one for StreamYard?
I have the free one.
Okay, I have the paid one, so
you get more on yours, right?
I don't think we'll have 10 people, but I can have 10 people.
No, I'm just saying in case we get messaged by people that want to join in.
Oh,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
in
for
case
sure.
in case you have somebody that you want to get to watch it or whatever.
Oh yeah,
But
for sure, for sure.
I can host it.
Bottom
I can
tier,
host
I
it.
need to get my live stream set up going. He says.
Oh yeah, because he talked about having bad reception at places in his house or whatever. So
yeah, it does happen.
He did live stream with me one time when I was doing my Monday stream. So hard for me to do it now. And we talked about the Eddie Guerrero Rey Mysterio match from Halloween Havoc, and we talked about DDP versus Goldberg. So
right there, Eddie and Mysterio.
Fun times. But alrighty, let me close out and thank you all. I didn't know we were going to go 3.5 hours, so
That's all good, man.
Fun times. But have a great one, guys. Appreciate it.
Have a good night. Thank you.